Hello, chat? Are we live? Are we live? Hello? Hold on. 1 minute. Let me see this. Okay, we're good, we're good. Welcome to the stream. Everybody, welcome in, welcome. I wasn't gonna go live today, but I decided why not, you know. Just do it. So, that's what we're gonna be doing today, chat. We're gonna be reacting to his story. What's up, Joey? We have a lot of swords to watch, bro. I think. Yeah, right here. Wow. Wait, no, we don't. Hold on. Okay. What's up, Caleb? What's up, Graham? Alright, chat. Like up the stream and subscribe. When are you gonna stream gtag again? Probably never, bro. The game is dead. It's not looking good. Not looking good at all. What's up, Nancy? What's up, Ben? What's up, Broken Spawn? Alright, bro.
I took my son to the carnival for his birthday.
Bro, we already... What am I doing?
I took my son to bring your kid to work day at the airport site, and the second I looked away, he was already climbing up into a forklift.
Oh, hell nah.
He had both hands locked on the controls, sitting on the edge of the seat, grinning through the windshield. And
do I remember you? Yeah, I do. I think.
I had no idea what he was going to do next. The forklift beeped and lurched backward. I ran towards him and started screaming, "Buddy, brakes! Find the brakes!" He found a lever instead,
oh,
and
nah.
the fork shot straight up, scattering a row of cones. A man
Yeah, I remember you, Damien. What's up?
Out of the way.
Of course,
my
bro.
foreman was red with anger and screamed, "Whose kid is that? Get him off my site!" The second Alvin saw me running, he slammed it into gear and shot the other way, weaving through pallets like a go-kart. He whipped around a stack of shipping containers.
What's up, Zachria?
And I lost sight of him. My heart pounded because Alvin had no limit to what he would do for fun. I sprinted around the aircraft shelter and stopped beside 20 frozen men in safety vests, all staring up.
Oh,
Alvin
nah.
had the forks jammed under the belly of a white plane, lifting it clean
Bro, what?
off the tarmac. Then he eased it
Oh,
back down,
no.
both wheels landing on the ground softly, and he threw both arms in the air.
What is this kid doing, bro?
Look, Daddy,
Welcome in, Lexus. What's up, Unholy Flame?
I'm working just like you. He kept going, playing the same way he played with his toy
Yo.
planes. I climbed up, grabbed the controls, and helped him land the next one. He tugged my sleeve. "Look, Dad, now you're watching me work. Now it's bring your dad to work day." I took my...
Bruh.
An old woman stormed up to my work.
Oh, hell nah. Are you late? Nah, you're really early. I just started the stream 2 minutes ago. What's up, Landon? What's up, Animal?
And threw her
Lovers.
groceries onto the conveyor belt. $7 for eggs? Why is this so expensive?
$7 for eggs? That's kind... I don't
Zoe
know.
scanned them without blinking. "I don't set the prices, ma'am." The woman leaned over the belt. "Change the price?"
It's kind of expensive, chat. I don't know. What's up, System Clips? What's up, dude?
I started screaming. I puffed out
Why you guys so lazy? What do you mean, bro? Gorilla tag in general? What do you mean?
my chest and swaggered over because this was
Watching shorts on... Yes, bro.
my chance to show her I was a masculine man. But 4 steps in, a customer
You're
grabbed
cool, thank you. Just do real stream. This is a real stream.
my arm. "Where are your freaking bread loaves? I've been looking for freaking ever. Actually, can you just walk me there?"
Thank you for the GLHF, Amanda. Appreciate it, bro.
I sighed, and while I led her there, I heard a crash by the checkout lane. I spun around, and the woman was jumping up and down having a tantrum, and my manager was jogging over to the crime scene. I shoved a baguette at the customer and ran to save my queen. When I finally reached her, the
Oh,
woman
nah.
was talking to my manager. "Your cashier called me a hag and threw my eggs
What?
on the ground." I gasped because she was lying, and Zoe's jaw dropped. "I never touched her eggs." My manager turned to Zoe. "Can anyone confirm your side of the story?" I raised my hand to defend my lady. I watched
Thank you for the hiding if, Amanda.
the whole thing, start to finish. Zoe is innocent. The woman's mouth fell open, and my manager put his hands on his hips. "Yeah, right. As if I'd believe you. The one who has a crush on her. We all know it." Zoe blushed.
Shout out to Caroline. Thank you for the sub. How many shiny rocks do you have? 1,000,000, bro.
And I turned red. But before I could respond, my manager turned to the woman. "Corporate policy. The customer's word is final, so I will take action on whatever version of the story you give me." I clenched my fists because I knew I had to do something fast. I pointed at the woman and lied. She threw the groceries at Zoe's head and slapped her until she fell
What?
to the floor. Her head snapped around. "Lies. I just knocked the eggs down. That's
Shout out to Samuel.
it." I grinned because my plan had worked perfectly, and my manager folded her arms. "So you destroyed your own eggs bags and blamed my cashier. You need to leave. She
Oh,
screamed
nah.
while security marched her out the door, and Zoe laughed. There's the scream she promised me. I laughed and she kept going. So, you came from the bread aisle, then walked to where I was. My ears went hot. How did you know where I was the whole time?
You were the
She
hiding it.
giggled. Same way you know where I am every shift. I like you too, dumb. An old
Oh, hell nah.
The train I was riding nearly took a man's hand off as it blew past the station where it was
Oh
supposed
my
to
gosh,
stop.
yo.
This was the 5th stop in a row the train missed. Not only that, it was picking up speed.
Thank you for the $2, Dax. W, Dax with the $2. Thank you, Dax. W.
Something was wrong. People on the train started to panic and children started to cry. I looked at the subway map. We only had 5 more stops before the end of the line, and if we couldn't stop, it would
Thank you for the gold coin. My bad, chat. If you hear like a vacuum, I'm so sorry.
be the end of
Bro.
everyone on the train too. I checked the doors and windows, all locked. The only way out was an emergency exit hatch on the ceiling. I scrambled up to the train's roof. It was my only option if I wanted to make it to the driver's car in the front. The train shot
Shout out
down
to
the track
Jana.
like a bullet.
What's up? You sent me 50 last stream? You did?
And the wind blowing
I
in
don't
my
know.
face made it almost impossible to keep my balance. I made my way to the front, facing death with every step. I could hear the screams getting louder in the train cars below me. When I made it to the front, I found the conductor slumped over the controls inside.
Oh, nah.
I checked
What? They were the flower, Jenna. Appreciate it.
his pulse.
That's a
Nothing.
Darian.
He was gone. I looked up from the driver's corpse and out the front window. In the distance was the dead end of the last stop, and we were closing in fast. Just then, I heard a voice shouting from an overhead radio. Train 27, what the hell's going on in there?
Oh,
I
nah.
grabbed the radio. This is train 27. Our driver is dead. Tell me how to stop this thing. The radio crackled back. The emergency brake. Look for a giant red button. I
Thank you
found
for the
button, but
100.
It was locked behind a plastic box with a keyhole under it. I looked out the window again. We were maybe 30 seconds away from death. The radio started
Walk
crackling
in.
again, but the signal
Chad, do you think they're gonna make it? They might make it. I
was
don't know.
breaking up. I could only make out the words key, box, belt. I looked back down at the dead driver. There it was. A small silver key hung on his belt. I ripped it off, unlocked the box.
Thank you for
and hit
hiding
button.
it,
The train
Dax.
came to a dead stop with only inches of track left. Everyone else on board was shaken, but still alive. The train I was
W.
riding nearly
They survived,
the massive
chat.
barbell fell straight onto my neck. and I
Oh my gosh. Yo, why isn't the guy helping? They were the
felt
chili.
my windpipe nearly collapse. Above me stood the biggest, baldest
Is-
bully in the
yeah,
gym.
oh, what?
Oh, sorry, bro.
We're
I
hiding of
totally
Jenna.
thought you had it under control, he said with a sarcastic chuckle. But while you're down there, I want you to think about something. I don't want to see any more featherweights like
Thank you for the
coming into my
100.
gym. I'm tired of looking at your beta body. This gym
Hold
is
up,
for
yo,
alphas
Chad, I'ma be
only.
right back.
My vision started to go spotty, and I was seconds away from losing consciousness completely. As my vision was about to go completely black, I was able to unlock the weights on one side of the barbell. They slid off the bar, and I was able to throw the rest of the heavy metal to the floor. I staggered to my feet. What the hell, man? You said you would spot me, and then you just dropped the weight on my neck. The bully picked me up by
Exactly.
the collar of my shirt.
back.
You're damn right I did. And if the barbell didn't break it, I guess I'll have to do it myself. As I hung with my feet 10 inches off the floor,
Holy,
I searched
10
desperately for a
inches?
way out of the situation. A weight cable with an empty hook dangled above the bully's head. It was attached to over 500 pounds in plates. I
500 pounds? Holy, bro.
acted instantly. I reached
Shout out to Brittany. Guys, subscribe her now if you want a shout out. And feel free to send gifts like Laughing Discos
behind the bully,
to send support.
hooked the cable to his shirt, and then kicked the pin from out of the counterweight. The bully shot up with 500 pounds of force and bashed his head on the
Oh.
crossbar. He collapsed to the floor, shaking every piece of equipment. The bully was taken out in a stretcher. I got a job as a personal trainer at the gym, and months later, the bully came
Shout
back
out
in
to
a wheelchair
Dakari.
with shame on his face. He looked up at me with guilt and said, "I'm sorry for what happened a few months ago, but I need your help." I compressed my spine.
They were the
and
hiding
without a
of
trainer,
James.
I may never walk again. I looked down with mercy and said, "In here, everyone's an alpha. We start training tomorrow."
Oh, hell no.
My best friend John pointed at a wasp nest and said, "Tom Brady moment. If you hit the nest, I'll give you $50. Then my other friend Ivan slammed his hand on the table. "Double it. I'm in." We tiptoed over to inspect it.
They were the high five. Anthony. W. Anthony with the high five. Thank you, bro.
and up close it was like 2 basketballs hanging off a tree branch, easily the biggest nest I'd ever seen. John scooped up the football and said, "Hit it and make it inside without getting stung," then tossed me the ball. I stood
Shout out to Mark.
there staring at it, because $100 for one throw and a sprint was easy money. But when I looked back, they were both already crouched behind the patio chairs, and something felt off. If this went wrong, nothing was stopping them from locking me out. I lined up my throw, but a single wasp buzzed past my ear,
Oh,
and
nah.
I dropped the ball like it was on fire, and both of them fell out laughing behind the chairs. I picked it back up, wiped my hands on my shorts, took a breath, and nailed the nest dead center. It hit the
Oh,
grass, and the sky turned
W.
into a black cloud, so I took off for the door. But when I looked back to
You were
check
hiding
the
it,
swarm,
Colton.
I plowed straight into both of them, and all 3 of us ate grass. I scrambled up first, shoved them back down, and dove inside, locking the door behind me. If
Good.
anyone was getting locked
you were the
up
marshmallow high. Ezo, W Ezo.
today,
Thank you.
it wasn't gonna be me. They slammed against the glass, screaming, "Open the door!" while the swarm caught up and they danced around swatting at their own heads. I gave them 3 seconds, then flipped the lock and they fell inside, slapping wasps off each other. John was
Holy,
on the floor, crying, laughing
were hiding
because
it.
Ivan got stung right on the butt. I held out my hand
bro, what?
and said, "I did my dare, pay up," and they each slapped a 50 into my palm.
$50? Damn.
My best friend John,
Oh wait.
I laid down in the hammock I'd spent all afternoon setting up, enjoying the breeze, when I felt a pair of chubby fingers gripping my fabric. The
Oh
neighborhood
nah, it's a big back chat.
fat kid
You're
was
hiding it,
pushing me out of
Colton.
the hammock, gasping, "I want it," already out of breath from just talking. He pushed me off as my face hit the dirt, and he slowly climbed into my hammock, his gargantuan stomach
Holy, bro's gonna break the whole thing. That's what's gonna happen.
pointing roundly at the air as he laid down. His massive weight was already bending the trees, so I got up and told him, "Bobby, you're gonna snap my hammock." He went to say he wouldn't, but that's when the tree cracked. The hammock snapped,
Oh.
and Bobby crashed so hard I felt a mini tremor. I facepalmed, but Bobby just lay on the dirt in the same relaxed
Bro, what?
position
What is bro doing?
with my
Spam Biggie in the chat, guys. Shout out to L Benz with the sub.
hammock trapped under him, completely unbothered that his weight just snapped an oak tree. I kicked his flags.
Oh my
"Bobby,
God.
get up," but he waved his
They're
arm.
hiding it.
Nah, too much effort. He placed his hands over his stomach and rolled his head back, closing his eyes. I grabbed my hammock and
What
pulled
is
as
bro
hard as I
doing?
could,
Think with the marshmallow high, Ezo. W Ezo with the marshmallow
but
high.
immediately realized this was something King Arthur couldn't pull out. Bobby had now started drifting to sleep, so I tried moving him
Holy.
myself, but my back only shot pain.
Does bro really weigh that
in the
much?
process.
Oh my
I looked at my
god.
hammock, collecting dirt under his butt sweat, and knew
I thought that was poop.
there was only
What
one
the hell?
way. I climbed into my dad's excavator, my hands shaking with rage. "Last chance, Bobby. Get up or you're getting excavated." But Bobby was peacefully snoring in the dirt.
Oh,
I
nah.
pressed the lever and scooped Bobby up. I raised him in the air.
Oh my, what the hell? There was a
But
flower.
just as I was about to drop him, I heard him yell, "Wait, leave me here. This is like a hammock."
Bro, what? Are we
My jaw
serious?
dropped and I climbed out, but Bobby was already snoring again in the arm of the excavator. I shook my head, then set my hammock back up.
At this point, just give up. Like,
Now both
bro.
of us were enjoying the breeze. I laid down. I handed the keys to my Lambo to the valet. "Be careful with this." "Of course, sir. She won't move an inch." But as I walked into the restaurant, my phone buzzed with a dash cam alert, and I opened a live feed of the valet
Oh
flying
nah, he took the
Lambo down
car
street.
chat.
My jaw
Shout
dropped.
out
I
Alberto.
immediately waved a taxi over, jumped in, and pointed through the windshield.
Why did he
Follow
just
that-
steal the car chat? That is not nice to do. Shout out to Alberto. Guys, subscribe if you want a shout out. And feel free to send gifts like laughing discos if you want.
car. I borrowed that car from my father-in-law. If I can't return it in one piece, my dad.
Bro,
I
I'm
handed
a crash out. Why did I
the car
skip
through
it?
traffic, then
Okay.
through the windshield. Follow that car. I borrowed that car from my father-in-law.
That's a
If I
J-Lon.
can't return it in one piece,
Give her the
I'm
gold
cooked.
coin.
The driver looked at me, nodded, and took off behind it. My eyes kept jumping between the windshield.
That's
and
a
the
chance
scene. He
plush.
swerved my car through traffic, then pulled over.
Oh my
and I
gosh.
sighed, thinking he
That's a
was just going
sick
to park
car
it. But then
chat.
a guy in a hoodie hopped into my passenger seat and planted his sneakers on my dash. My grip nearly cracked my phone. The taxi driver glanced at my screen. "Wait, that's live?"
Thank you for
I
the
nodded,
star.
and he leaned into the wheel, weaving between lanes like it was his car out there. The valet swung into a drive-thru, and I watched him order a milkshake out of my window. while
Thank
my
you for
jaw
the
slowly
100.
tightened. He revved my engine at the next red light, and every rev, I gripped the seat harder. But then we pulled up right beside the Lambo. I was close enough to knock on my own window, but the stupid valet was too busy showing his friend how my seats reclined all the way back. The taxi driver looked at me. I just shook
Thank you
my
for
head.
the star.
Not yet. Then the feed showed him dropping his friend and turning onto a familiar street. I grinned because because he was looping back to the
6th,
lot.
7th
I told
Street.
the driver, cut down that side street and drop me at the valet stand first. I straightened my jacket, held my phone flat against my leg, and waited. A minute later,
Shout
the
out to
Lambo
Charlie.
rolled in. I watched him wipe my seats with his sleeve and spray cologne over everything his friend touched. Then he jogged
Holy.
over, dropped my keys into my hand, and smiled. She never moved an inch, sir. I closed my fist around the keys.
That's
Just
cap.
as I
That's actually cap. Bro just drove
was
around.
about to show him the recording, a voice came from behind him. She never moved an inch? The valet spun
Oh,
around,
nah.
and my father-in-law was standing there, holding up his own phone.
might be
Both
over,
me
chat.
and the valet went white in the fact at the same time. My father-in-law plucked his keys out of my hand, my car, my dash
Oh,
cam.
it's his cars. Oh.
Who do you think gets the alerts? I'm suing whoever drove it. I leaned in close to the valet.
Yeah, he drove
Turns
it.
out, I'm not the one who's cooked. Behind me, the taxi driver honked twice on his way out.
Bro, they were
My dad
lighting
grabbed a
him.
knife and cut open the cardboard box from Amazon. He took out a flat black disc and held it
What
up
the
like
hell?
a trophy.
Bro,
this
what?
is RoboVac. He's going to vacuum for us. He plugged
Robovac? Are we serious right now?
the black wire into a socket, and it instantly started sucking up all
Shout out
the
to Oliver. Guys, feel free to send gifts. Thank you for the 22 hiding gifts. And thank you for the 40 stars, Melissa. W. Melissa with the 50 stars. And thank you for the 30 stars, Carlos. W. Carlos with the hiding gifts. Thank you. And thank you for the flow state gumdrop animates. W. Gumdrop animates with the flow state. Thank you, guys.
crumbs from the carpet. I turned
did
red
not
with
see that.
anger. Dad, vacuuming our house is the only thing that makes me any money. He shrugged. Sorry, kid. You've been replaced with AI. I clenched my fists because I was 2 Saturdays away from having enough money for my dream dirt bike. And that thing had to go. The second he drove off, I grabbed the old vacuum and challenged RoboVac to a race. I pushed the vacuum around
Oh,
the room
nah.
until my shirt was
What the
soaked
hell?
with sweat. But RoboVac cleaned in calm
Yeah, Robovac. You can't beat the robot, bro. They were the hiding
little
gifts.
circles, and every circle it cleaned was another $10 it took out of my pocket. I screamed, ugh, how did you even win? I sprinted outside and threw
Shout
it
out
into
to
the
Pamela.
pool. When I saw it under the water, I patted myself on the back. You cooked, but it beeped and made its way back to the grass.
It
I
can
watched
fly, bro. What?
it blink up
They
at
with
me as
happy
it spoke.
poop.
I am indestructible. But I rolled
Ew,
up my
what,
sleeves,
chat?
glared and said, I'm not going to stop until you're finished. My neighbor's kid was watching over the fence the whole time. And
Think
he
of a
yelled,
star.
yo, could that thing clean our house? My face lit up because that was my light bulb moment. I posted an ad on Facebook offering to rent it out to neighbors, and I put the price as $80 per
$80?
hour. I laughed evilly because I was renting it for even more money than it cost, and I knew my dad would love this idea. By Saturday, there were 4 neighbors on my porch waving 20s, and
Oh my gosh.
RoboVac was
Holy.
already humming across our neighbor's living room. Sometimes when it sees me, it blinks up and says, I am indestructible. But now I just laugh and show it a photo of my dirt bike. Yeah, and now you're on payroll. Sorry, AI, but you've been outsmarted by a human.
W. Shout out to Kinsley.
I clocked into my job as a waiter at Chili's, and the same lady was sitting at one
Chili's?
of my tables for the 3rd time that week, but I barely registered her. All I could think about was how my mom's doctor had called that morning to tell us there was nothing else they could do to treat her cancer, and she was the only family I had. I walked over to the lady to make sure she wanted her regular triple dipper, and she smiled at me. You look tired. Do you get enough sleep? I let out a little laugh. What are you, my mom? She laughed back. I'm way too young to be your mom. She tipped $300 like always and left.
$300? Wait. We're talking $300. Shout out to Rachel.
I was
Holy.
too busy taking care of my mom to dig
My
into it, but I
gosh.
couldn't stop wondering how a woman I'd served 3 times a week for 2 years somehow knew things about my life I'd never told her. The next
Yeah.
week, she asked if I missed playing basketball.
Give her
something
the
I'd never
dollar
mentioned
AQ edits. WAQ edits with the dollar. What's up, Fast? 300, damn. Exactly, bro.
to anyone there, and my stomach dropped.
WAQ
Either she'd
edits.
been watching me somehow, or I was losing my grip on what I'd actually said out loud. I was running on no sleep, working doubles to help cover my mom's medical bills, and I'd never told anyone at work about my mom, but I swear this woman knew. She stopped asking questions and started leaving notes under her plate instead. Hang in there, you're stronger than you know. One night I forgot her salad completely, and she didn't mention it. She just slid an envelope across the table. Inside was $300 and a note. For
Shout out to
whatever
Avocado Plays. Shout out to Dorio
you need
Plays.
most right now. For the first time since my mom's diagnosis, I let myself hope somebody had my back. Mom died 2 weeks later, and that night I opened the
R.I.P.
letter she'd pressed into my hand before her last breath. I cried as I read that she had adopted me at 3 days old from a 14-year-old birth mother. A second letter was folded inside hers. I'm sorry I can't keep you. I'll think about you every day.
Shout out to Sarah Lee. Shout out to Purple Star Nugget.
It was signed by someone named Marina Wells. My heart
Who? Marina
stopped
Wells.
because that was the name of the woman from my restaurant. The next time I clocked in, she was sitting at one of my tables, so I slid into the booth across from her. I know who you are. She started to cry.
Wait, what?
I'm so sorry.
Shout to
I'll
Timmy.
understand if you never want.
Thank you for the dollar, AQ Edits. WAQ Edits with the dollar.
I grabbed her hand before she could finish, trying not to cry too. I wasn't going to be alone. I clocked in. I clocked
Hold
in.
up.
My cell door
That's a W story though,
and
chat.
a man I swear I recognized walked inside. This is Terrence, your new cellie.
Oh, hell nah.
Guard locked the door.
That's a
I looked
Allen
at
cat.
Terrence again, and my eyes went wide with rage. He was the man who killed my mother 3 years ago.
Ooh.
I still
Thank you for the dollar again, AQ Edits. WAQ Edits. Thank you for the hiding gift gameplays. W. Thank you, bro.
remember coming home
Shout
and
out to
seeing her
Mason.
on the kitchen floor as
You
he
should
left
react to her story. Yeah, we are.
out our back window.
After this.
My whole body trembled as I tapped his shoulder. Remember me? Terrence
Oh,
squinted,
nah.
then clutched his jaw laughing. Of course I do. I still remember how your mom
That's a
screamed.
D-Clan
Did it
Mason.
hurt coming home and seeing her lifeless on the floor? I saw red and my fists curled in rage. But just as I was about to swing, Terrence backed up. You lay one finger on me and I'm snitching. Your sentence will be extended for violence. He hopped on his bunk carelessly, and my stomach turned because I knew he was right. I couldn't touch him, or
That's
he'd
a
tell,
Joplin.
and any hope I had of freedom would be gone. I climbed into bed and clutched Mom's old necklace, but Terrence bent down. She wore that when I killed her, right? His laugh made me see red, but there was nothing I could do. Until one night, Terrence woke me up. Here's a secret. Your mom wasn't the only one, he whispered. I have a parole hearing coming up. If I get out, there'll be many more after her.
Oh,
My chest
nah.
went cold, and I realized I had to stop.
Shout out to NH Sports
I
B.
told the guards what I heard, but they shook their heads saying that's not enough proof to
Bro, what?
refuse his parole hearing. So while on yard, I picked up the phone and made one call to my friends outside. The next time we got mail, I made sure Terrence was looking when I opened mine. He was still
Shout out to Confused Gray Elephant.
smiling, asking if my mom had sent me a letter for Mother's Day, but his face dropped once he saw what I was holding, a picture of his brother tied up. I
Oh, nah.
smiled at him. Now, should my friends treat your brother like you treated my mom? Terrence's face turned ghost white and he started trembling. Don't touch my brother. We'll see. I interrupted him. I'm making a phone call to my buddies tomorrow. Your brother's life.
Thank you for the live. Disco Lena. Sorry if I said your name wrong. W-I-Lenia with the live Disco. Thank you.
Depends on what I
W-I-Lenia.
say. I laid back on my bed and watched as Terrence dropped to his knees, begging me, but I didn't say a word to the rest of the day. At night, I heard him crying
Thank
from
you.
fear above me, and that's when I climbed up. When guards ask you tomorrow what happened to you, you're gonna say you tripped and fell. Then you'll ask to be transferred. Got it? I pulled out my
Shout out
sock
to Denise. Shout out to Yuri.
stuffed with frozen butter and started laying into Terrence before
nah.
he could respond. I didn't stop until the sounds of his
What the
bones
hell?
breaking stopped too. When guards opened our cell in the morning and saw him lying on the ground, purple and swollen and unable to move,
is bro
Terrence
dead?
spoke first. I tripped and fell, he wheezed out. I had a new cellie that afternoon, and Terrence was too injured to attend his parole hearing. This was for you, Mom. My cell
W.
I
Give her
clocked
the gold coin AQ edits. Okay.
my cell door open.
That was the last short. Dang. Now, chat,
man,
we
I
gotta
saw-
watch her story. Okay, guys? I'm sorry, man. Shout out to Scooter Kid. We gotta watch her story. Okay.
I handed a customer her latte. She took one sip, then threw the
That's it.
entire drink in my face. Are you
Oh, nah.
trying to kill me? This
Shout
has
out to
too much
Logan.
milk. I'm lactose intolerant. I smiled,
What?
trying to keep myself from throwing a drink back at her. No problem. I'll make you another one. But I wasn't going to let her get away with this. I looked at the clock. My manager was coming back from break in 5 minutes.
Give her the
He
gold
hated
coin.
this job more than I did. I was positive he'd do something. So I picked up a new cup and stalled. I moved as slow as I could. Then the woman leaned over the counter, yelling, "Hey!"
Thank you for the dollar, Sniper Man. W Sniper Man with the dollar. Shout out to
pointed.
Alex.
More caramel. I said more. I said extra caramel is an extra 50-cent charge. She groaned. I'm already an
Oh,
unhappy
nah.
customer. Do you want me to report you to the manager? I smiled because I knew he'd be here soon. But then she stepped behind the counter, snatched the bottle out, and squeezed an excessive amount. I did nothing because the more she did, the more my manager would see. She shoved the cup back at me. Now pour the milk right this time.
Oh,
I glanced at the
nah.
clock.
Shout out
2
to the
minutes.
gamer
So I
beastie.
poured in way more milk than needed on purpose. She threw her hands up. Unbelievable. You want to kill me. I
Bro,
will
what?
have you
Thank
fired
you for the
and sent to
100.
jail. Wait until your manager hears about this, I said, trying not to smile. He'll be here any minute, ma'am. Don't worry. Then the door chimed. My manager walked in. She ran to him. Are you the manager? Your employee tried to poison me. My manager looked at the mess, then turned to me. I waited for him to back me up, but instead, he sighed. I'm so sorry, ma'am. Let me
Oh, hell nah.
make the drink myself. My heart sank. He was taking her side. She smiled like she won. He made the drink and handed it to her. On the house, she took one sip, then she threw it right back in his face. Wrong.
Oh.
Too much milk.
Oh, nah.
Manager stood there, milk dripping down his
Give her the
nose.
100.
Frick this job. He grabbed the milk jug and dumped the whole thing over her head. I grabbed the
Oh.
caramel and squeezed it all over her. Is this enough drizzle for you? She ran out the door, dripping milk and caramel. My manager threw his apron on the floor. I hate this damn job. I quit. I threw mine down next to it and walked out smiling. I handed a customer.
Bro, what? They were hiding
While
it.
my daughter got ready for school, I noticed her hair was sticky. Haley,
What the hell?
in your hair?
What kind of hair is that,
oh, yeah,
bro?
I used glue. Doesn't it look perfect?
What?
I reached out and touched it, and as soon as I did,
What the hell? That's not even hair, Chad. That's just like sticks of black stuff
my
on her
heart
hair.
stopped. It made
Well,
a
on
crunch
her head.
sound. Oh my god, you actually used glue? Yeah, Ms. Lepp told me and Shayla to put this
I was Beanie. Yes,
Gorilla
yes.
glue in our hair. I was about
That
to
was
pass
me,
out.
bro.
That stuff was impossible to unstick once it dried. I grabbed her arm and yanked her to the bathroom and turned on the shower to max heat. I knew we didn't have time and put her head under. Stop! The glue was starting to cement to her scalp.
Okay,
now.
why would you glue your hair though, chat? Like,
The
bro,
slightest
who
touch
does
was
that?
painful. I was panicking. I didn't know.
One more sub, 154k. Let's go, baby. Thank you guys, bro. Let's go. 154k. Let's go. What soundboard do you use? I use a poo poo soundboard. Nah, thank you guys for 154k. Let's go, man. Thank you. W.
know what to do, so I immediately threw her in the car. I had to carry her into the emergency room, and as soon as everyone waiting saw her hair sticking straight up like
I
she
don't
was from
know,
Google,
Faz. I don't know. What team is that?
they all gasped. She was screaming in pain,
That's a
and they
Rose
rushed to
Zika.
treat her. But as they took her to the doctor, all I could think about was
Rosica.
how bad I wanted to rip Ms. Lepp to shreds. Who tells a 7-year-old to put Gorilla Glue in her effing hair? When the
Exactly.
doctor saw Shayla's hair sticking up, his eyes went
Oh,
wide.
nah.
Is this glue? Yes, there's Gorilla Glue in her hair. And I saw
Hey,
him
chat. It's
instantly
actually over.
panic. We need
At this point, give it a live disco, Shane. W Shane with the laughing disco. Thank you, Shane. W Shane, bro. Nah, chat. At this point, just like remove the hair.
to move her now.
Give her the
We
hiding
need to
gift.
sedate her. I watched them wheel Haley away, and that's when it hit me.
Bro,
Wait,
what?
She said, Shayla did this too. Oh my god. I called Shayla's mom from the hospital, and as soon as she picked up, I said, did you
Oh,
see
nah.
Shayla's hair this morning? Did she put anything in it? But she was already crying. The school just called me and said I had to pick her up immediately. I don't know what's happening. And that's when I realized this was worse than we thought.
Oh,
I
nah.
drove to the school, and just as I got there, I saw Ms. Lepp trying to get into her car. Ms. Lepp, you told Haley to put glue in her hair? She jumped back and said, she put what? Gorilla Glue? You told her to do it. But Miss Lepp
Oh,
wasn't
nah.
worried. She got defensive. I saw a girl on TikTok do that. Their hair is always so naughty. I thought
Bro,
it'd be
what? Give it a live disco, Doran. W Doran with the live disco. Thank you, Doran. W Doran, bro. Thank
for
you.
them. Besides, if she's too dumb to believe me, maybe you're a bad mother. I was seconds away from beach slapping her dumb face when we heard an ambulance. And when the front door to the school opened, my jaw dropped. I saw the school nurse walking out with Shayla and a few other girls, all of them crying and their hair perfectly solid and sticking up. Shayla's
Oh,
mom
hell
rushed
nah.
in behind the ambulance, and when she ran
Give it a live disco, BSG. WBSG with the live disco. Thank you, BSG. W.
up to her, she yelled, "Oh my god, my Shayla!" Ms. Lepp was backing up toward her car
Let
like
me
she was about
BSG.
to run, but Shayla's mom was not letting her get away. She told my baby to glue her hair. 2 police officers ran at her, and before Ms. Lepp could start her car,
Give it a live disco again. WBSG with the live disco. Thank you, bro. WBSG. Pick a gift and you will gift it. Let's go with what? Let's go with a goat trophy. Oh hell no.
they yanked her out and slammed her dumb face onto the concrete. They were all rushed to the hospital, and the doctors did everything they could, but no matter how many intense surgeries they performed, it was too late.
Surgeries. Chat, I'm gonna be completely honest. Shout out to Alexander. Just go bald. What's the point of getting surgery when you could just go bald? I don't understand that. They were live. Let's go, Doran. W Doran with the live. Let's go. Thank you.
They didn't die, but are now all balder than Caillou. While my
Oh,
daughter,
hell
what
no.
I found inside my wedding dress destroyed my life. Growing up, I didn't care if my dress had lace, sparkles, or a train. The only thing I really wanted was for it to have pockets. So when I found my dream dress, it felt like fate. Ivory silk, delicate cap
I don't wanna
sleeve.
watch
My
this,
little
bro.
sister woke me up scratching, and when I turned the light on, she was smiling down at the lice
Oh hell no.
crawling through her hair. I instantly started
Give her
gagging
a
in
star.
disgust. I grabbed the lice comb off the dresser, and she threw both arms over her head like she was protecting something precious. Stop. These are my friends. friends. I shined my phone torch on her scalp. Ellie, that's disgusting. We're combing them out tonight. She rolled over to face the wall. Good night. But I stared at her in confusion because Ellie was the kind of kid who was scared of spider webs, so I couldn't understand why she wanted to keep a scalp full of bugs. I waited until she was asleep and started combing them out anyway, but she woke up and grabbed my wrist.
Oh, hell no.
In the dark, like I was stealing from her. I said no. The next day, I got an email from the school. Lice has been reported in multiple classrooms. Please check your child's hair
Oh, well, nah.
night. So when I went to pick up Ellie
It's
from
over,
school that
chat.
day, I parked around the corner and got out of the car to spy on her and find out why she was so determined to keep her lice. Kids clumped by the gate and spilled off the steps, all except one corner where a girl sat alone against the fence. Ellie pulled her beanie off and pressed the side of her head against the girl's.
Oh, yo. Are we serious?
Grinding their hair together, giving herself the lice that the girl had. I immediately stormed over with my hands on my hips. What is going on right now? The girl shrank back, but Ellie didn't. Her mom can't afford the lice medicine, and everyone calls her the lice girl. She shrugged like I was slow. She's my friend, so I gave them to myself too. Otherwise, it's not fair. I kept my voice cold. Both of you, I said. In the car. Now. I sat them on the edge of the tub at home. I did Katie's hair first and combed the whole bottle of lice medicine through her hair. The treatment her mom couldn't buy, and her eyes kept flicking up to mine in the mirror like no one had ever been this gentle with her. By the time both their heads were clean, the two of them were on the floor fighting over the good crayons, and nobody was the lice girl anymore. My little I was home alone when I felt the front door
Lice is
burst
crazy,
open.
though.
I'm deaf, so I had to leave the living room and peek through the door to see who it was. It was Zoe and Jordan, the same two girls who held an air horn against my ear in 6th grade and laughed when I dropped to the floor and lost my hearing. I knew they were holding a knife because I could hear them dragging it against the wall. I backed into the kitchen to
Guys, subscribe right now if you want to shout out, okay?
Phone, but it was gone. They must have taken it. I sneaked upstairs as quietly as I could, but it's hard to tell if you're making a sound when you're deaf. I hid in my mom's room and watched shadows moving in the hall.
Thank you for the hiding gift.
A whiteboard so I could see it through the crack in the door. We know you're up here. Then a second one. We know you told our parents what we did. They took our phones for a month. Then Zoe's hand reached up holding her own. Time for us to take something from you too. They started checking rooms.
Shout out to Bubble Man.
Me in minutes. That's when I remembered.
Shout out to
that I wasn't
Cookie is a
completely
king.
Defenseless, because my mom is a hearing specialist who studies hearing loss. On her desk was a dangerous prototype. A directional
Shout out to
sound unit,
Josie.
an experimental device that could shoot a concentrated sound wave
Give her the
that was
clutch.
powerful enough to instantly burst a healthy eardrum. I started slamming my hands looking for it, and that's when the door handle turned. I found the device right at that moment and faced the door. Zoe and Jordan stepped in smiling with a knife. They lunged at me,
Oh,
but I
nah.
pulled the trigger at max. I couldn't hear the sound that was being emitted, but I could feel it. The pressure hit their ears directly with
Holy.
the full force of a stadium speaker. Their eardrums burst on
Ears are gone, bro. Shout out to Snow on Rivals.
fully deafening them on the spot. They dropped to the floor and screamed.
That's
in
a
frequency I
cyano
lost
world.
6 years ago. I picked up Jordan's whiteboard, wiped it clean, and wrote, "Now we're even," and I walked out. I was home alone when a woman burst
That's a
into my
YT
birthday dinner
prime.
screaming, "Everyone stop eating." I froze because my whole family was here for my birthday. My parents, my sister, even my grandma made the trip from out of
Think
state.
we're the hiding of Cam the man.
My husband David booked this place months ago, a fancy Manhattan place. We were 3 courses in, and the plates were already empty. My grandmother made this horrible gurgling noise that didn't sound human. My mom rushed to her, but then froze.
Shout out to
Something happened with me
Elliot.
too. My sister knocked over her wine glass, pushing away from the table. Red spread across the white tablecloth. She was pale. My stomach, it's burning.
Oh,
My
nah.
dad loosened his tie like he couldn't breathe, and the manager rushed over. Let's not
Did they get poisoned,
allow
bro?
the other guests. My mom threw up all over his shoes. My dad
Shout
barely
out
moved
to
of his
the
chair before he dropped
director.
to his
Oh
knees
my
eating,
gosh.
And there was something dark in it. The manager was sprinting toward the back. Paramedics crashed through the doors, but none of us could answer their questions. Our grandmother wasn't moving anymore. A paramedic was doing
Oh,
chest
nah.
compressions. I turned to grab David, and he was just standing there.
R.I.P.
calm,
to
still.
the
He
grandma,
wasn't sick,
bro.
And he wasn't even sweating. David, he blinked. I'm calling 911, baby. It's okay. But his voice sounded like he practiced this. And the paramedics were already here. The kitchen woman grabbed a paramedic by the sleeve. You need to pump their stomachs now. It's rat poison. I saw the box in the
Rat
trash.
poison? Oh, nah.
She yelled across the room. It wasn't an accident. Someone paid a cook to do this, and I know who. She pointed straight at David. Him. He paid the cook $10,000 to put it in your food. I turned to
10,000?
him. What is she talking about? He just looked at me with this cold expression I'd never seen. I didn't have a choice. After he was arrested, I found out David owed $500,000 to dangerous people. If my family was gone, I'd inherit all the money. So he ordered for the whole table that night. A woman burst into my
Oh,
birthday dinner.
nah.
A kid I'd never seen
Shout out
sprinted
to
up my
Michelle.
steps while I was on my porch and screamed that my house was about to blow up. My dad's a gas engineer. I hear a leak. Let me in your house. So I
We
can
already
fix
watched
my
that. Okay. We gotta go back,
Hi.
chat. Thank you for the $5, Alexander. W. Alexander with the $5. Thank you, Alexander. W. Alexander Bowman, bro. What's up? Hi. Thank you for the 5, bro. You're good. Let's watch this.
I pulled up to my 14-year-old son's school to pick him up and saw him shoving a smaller boy against a fence in the
Oh,
parking
nah.
lot. The smaller kid had a busted lip and tears in his eyes, and I couldn't believe what I was seeing. My son was
Shout
a
out to
bully.
Kid
He got in the
Plays.
car laughing, but his face turned when he saw my arms were crossed. Why are you bullying someone? Zach paused for a second, then leaned back and relaxed in the seat. Why do you care if I bully someone? And it's not my fault he's smaller and weaker than me. I was in disbelief and reminded him, I care because I was bullied in school. It doesn't feel good. But Zach just chuckled. Whatever, Mom. Just because you were a nerd
Bro,
doesn't mean I am
they were
too.
hiding
And
it
as we
for
drove
us.
by the boy, Zach leaned out the window and threw a rock from his pocket at the boy.
Oh,
I watched
nah.
the kid wipe the blood off his nose, and seeing Zach laughing
That's
in
actually crazy, though.
the seat, I felt ashamed I'd raised my son like this.
Oh, shit.
So that evening, I invited my 16-year-old nephew Juan over. Zach, can you help Juan practice his boxing in the garage? Zach immediately put down his phone and put on the pair of boxing gloves. And I saw on his screen he'd been texting KYS to the same boy from earlier.
That's
His
crazy. Shout out to it's the silly
hands
sissies.
shook with rage, but I just calmly leaned in Juan's ear and whispered, "Don't hold back." In the ring, Zach laughed. Finally, someone else I can punch as hard as I can, and threw a sloppy right hook, but Juan
That's a
ducked.
Malaya.
He'd been training for 3 years and towered over Zach, and he immediately landed a hard jab straight
Damn.
to my son's nose. Zach's head snapped back and his
It's
face
over.
twisted in rage as he swung wildly, but Juan countered with a right hook to Zach's jaw. Zach stumbled, blood running down his split lip, and when Juan hit him again and dropped him, Zach looked at me with these pleading eyes like begging me to tell
Holy.
Juan to stop. I walked over and shrugged. So, how does it feel being smaller and weaker than him?
Yeah.
Zach's eyes went manic. He didn't
Oh my
say
gosh.
a word, and instead just screamed for me
Bro's
and Juan to get
dead.
out. But the next day, when I came to school to pick him up, I saw him walk by the boy with his head down.
Leave her the hiding gift.
I smiled at Juan in the back seat, who I'd brought just in case. I pulled up. I walked into the
Alright, yo, chat. I'm gonna be right back. I just gotta open my door because I'm really hot.
I walked into the elevator with my grandma's oxygen tank in a cart beside me, but when I turned around, grandma's was stuck behind 2 people. She couldn't go around them fast enough, and the elevator doors shut, leaving her behind and closing on the tube that was attached to her nose and connected to the oxygen tank beside me. I instantly panicked as the elevator started going down, and when I saw the tube starting to stretch, I realized grandma was somewhere up there, likely getting her head slammed against the metal doors. I hit the emergency stop button. The elevator stopped and opened immediately, but by now the oxygen tank had been yanked upwards by and
Okay,
pressed
I'm
against
back.
the elevator ceiling. The tube was still connected to it. I jumped to reach the tank because without it, grandma had no oxygen, but the tank was too high. I had no time, so I just sprinted out of the elevator and ran up the stairs
Shout out to Lonnie.
as fast as I could to check on grandma, my heart beating so fast. I rounded the corner to her floor and saw 3 strangers crouched around her wheelchair. One was holding the chair to stop it from being pulled towards the elevator doors, while the other 2 were holding the tube against her face, making sure the oxygen kept flowing into her nose. I ran over and saw grandma was breathing fine. None of these people knew each other, but they all saw what happened and instantly came together to save my grandma's life. I
W.
was working as a flight attendant when I saw my husband boarding my plane holding a baby that wasn't ours.
Oh hell nah.
A
Shout out to Kid
tired-looking woman was
Plays.
beside him. My heart sank because
Oh,
I didn't
nah.
know who she was or what he was doing. I opened my phone and read
That's
his last
crazy.
text message from 10 minutes ago. I'm
That's
still at work.
actually
It's
crazy.
so boring
Chat.
today. He lied to me. I went to the back of the flight to spy on him, and I saw him walk down the aisle and sit down towards the back. The woman sat beside him with her head down like she was afraid of him.
He's
then
cooked.
He looked up and saw me. His face went white. He walked straight to the galley and pulled me behind the curtain. Baby, listen to me. It's not what it looks like. That woman is a co-worker. Her ex is dangerous, and I'm helping her escape to Mexico. That's why I had to lie and say I was at
Mexico.
work. He grabbed my
What?
hands tightly. You have to trust me. But I didn't trust him because something didn't feel right. I looked back at the woman and saw her shaking with fear. I knew he was hiding something, but I just nodded my head and said I had to get back to work. He kissed my forehead and went back to his seat. If he wasn't going to tell me the truth, I'd find out through her. So I waited until he went to the bathroom, and I walked straight to the woman. I grabbed a napkin and wrote, "I'm
Give her 6'7",
his
Jenna.
wife. Are you in danger?" I pressed it into her hand. She read it and wrote down her response. And just as she handed it to me, I saw the bathroom
Oh,
door
nah.
unlock and I ran to the back. I called the police and told them to have officers at the gate when we land. When the plane landed, I stood by the door like everything was normal. Passengers started
out to
walking
Kid
off.
Plays.
My husband walked toward
Thank
the
you for the
exit
sub,
with the
bro.
woman. When he stepped off the jet bridge, 2 officers were waiting. "Sir, we need to ask you some questions about the woman and child you're traveling with." His
You were
smile
6'7",
dropped. They turned him
Doran.
around and put him in handcuffs. He looked back at me. "Baby, what's going on? Tell them this is a mistake." The woman was standing behind me. For the first time, she spoke. "He hurt me at work and I got pregnant. That baby is his. He's been paying
What?
me every month to keep my mouth
Thought
shut.
the storm
He put me
cat.
on this flight to get rid of me in Mexico so you'd never know." I took off my ring and threw it at him. "I hope you rot in Mexican prison." I was working as a
Oh,
flight
nah.
attendant. I ordered a vanilla latte with peanut syrup and went to the pickup counter to wait for it. But
They
when
were
the
the live
barista
disco Nugget brother. W Nugget brother with the live disco. Thank you, bro.
at my
Guys, feel free to send gifts too, like live discos.
drink down, a 5-year-old kid immediately grabbed my cup and asked if he could try my drink. I told him no, but he opened the lid and took a sip. I was horrified because when he went to close it, he also coughed directly into it.
Oh,
His
nah.
mom came up behind him and
Thank
I
you for the
told her
live disco, Victoria. W Victoria with the gift. Thank you, Victoria. They were the hiding gift Naz. They were the thumbs up Doran.
buy me a new drink because her son just coughed in mine. She looked down at her son, drinking my coffee, and said, "Just take it back when he's done. He's only got a cold anyway." I told her I
Bro, what?
wasn't drinking it because it was contaminated, and she looked down at her son and said, "I guess that means you can have the rest." The kid smiled and kept drinking, and I decided to just get a new one. But suddenly, his face turned red. He gasped, grabbed his throat, and collapsed
Oh, nah.
to the floor
You were
while the
6'7",
drink fell
Vicky.
and splashed all over his mom. He was having an allergic reaction from my drink. Splashed all over
Oh, I thought that was a rat.
mom.
What
He
the
was
hell?
having an allergic reaction from my drink. She went red and dropped to her knees, yelling, "What was in that drink?" And when I told her peanut syrup, she screamed, "My son can't have peanuts. Why would you let my
Shout
son
out to
drink
Ollie
that?"
Noah.
She pointed her finger at me and reached into her purse for an EpiPen, but couldn't find one. I pulled out my phone and dialed 911, and while she was on the floor screaming about peanuts, I grabbed her untouched drink from the pickup counter and calmly walked out.
Oh, shit. Yeah.
My mom was loading groceries into the trunk when I saw my ex-stepdad walking towards our car, and my heart started pumping with adrenaline. My mom had a restraining order, and he wasn't supposed to be within 500 feet of us. He had one hand inside his jacket.
Oh, nah. They were the
And he was
flower
walking-
Vicky. They were the live disco Jenna. W Jenna with the live disco. They were the W. They were the live disco Roma. And they were the live disco Donna. W Donna, Roma, and Jenna. Thank you all.
Walking
W's.
directly toward my mom. Mom had her earbuds in,
They
and
were
she
the
had
W.
no idea he was there. She was bent over the trunk, reorganizing a paper bag that had flipped on its side. His jacket was hanging weird on one side, like there was something heavy in the inside pocket.
Oh, nah. They were the W.
And I saw the shape of it when he turned. I knew I had to warn her, and my hand went to the keys in the cup holder, and my thumb found the panic button. But right before I could press it, he stopped walking and stared at me. My entire
Oh, nah.
body tensed up again as he looked through
It
the
might be over, chat.
windshield right at me, and he smiled, and he put a finger to his lips. Then he dragged the same finger slow across his throat. If I pressed the button while he was that close to her, he would attack her. So I sat there with my thumb on the
They were
button,
the W.
and I did not press it. He started walking again, slower now, smiling at me the whole time. We were screwed. Until suddenly, a woman with a stroller came around the corner of the next car. His face changed in half a second, the smile went normal, and he glanced up to nod at her.
They were the
His
press
eyes
F Donna.
widened.
They
This
were the
was my
W
only
Victoria.
chance. I slammed the panic button down with both thumbs. The horn went off so loud it made my ears ring, and the headlights flashed, and every person in the lot turned to look at our car. He froze.
Oh,
Mom
nah.
dropped the bag she was holding, and a carton of eggs broke on the ground. She looked at me through the back window, and her whole face changed when she saw
Oh,
who was
nah.
behind her.
They were the live disco Donna. W Donna with the live disco. Thank you,
She ran
Donna.
around the side of the car, yanked the driver's door open, and slammed the locks down. He was at the hood by then, pounding on it with the flat of his hand.
Oh,
and
nah.
The whole car shook. The cops got there in 4 minutes and put him on the ground, and a knife slid out of his jacket
Oh, what?
onto the asphalt. I was shaking so
were
hard I
flower,
couldn't
Jenna.
unbuckle my seatbelt. Mom reached back and did it for me and pulled me into the front seat. That's when I saw her phone in the cup holder. There was already a 911 call connected, 43 minutes long. I was confused.
Damn,
I looked at
what?
her, and she had tears running down her face, but her voice was steady. I saw him in the reflection on the back window the second he stepped out of his car. I just never turned around because I didn't want him to know I knew. She was protecting
Oh, that's smart.
me
That's
the entire
actually
time
smart,
I thought I
chat.
was protecting her. My mom was loading groceries.
W.
I left my doctor appointment card on the counter, and when my boyfriend Charles saw it, he asked me why I was cheating on him. I laughed because I thought he was joking, but his face stayed completely serious. It's a routine checkup.
Guys, subscribe right now if you want to shout out. Let's hit 155K.
Every woman has to go once a year to get tested for cancer. He asked if the doctor was male, and when I said yes, he threw the card across the counter. So, you think it's okay to let another man put his hands on you? I was so shocked by his accusation that I jumped. Babe, it could save my life. Plus, male doctors are always a little fruity anyway. He rolled
Shout
his
out to Fox
eyes.
or the
Sounds like
Fox.
something a
Wait,
cheater would
what? That's a
say. Call
Zia.
them and cancel every appointment you have with that pervert. I told him I couldn't because they found something that needed
Oh,
follow-up
nah.
treatment, and I thought he'd finally give up on his stupid argument. But instead, he started panicking and pacing
Oh,
around the
nah.
room. How convenient. Now you suddenly have a medical emergency. He pulled out his phone and started scrolling. There are
Thank
female
you for
doctors
the $5, Jenna. W Jenna with the $5. Thank you, Jenna. W, Jenna in the chat. Thank you, Jenna, for the 5. W.
To do this.
Thank you so much.
Today,
For hiding
we
it.
are done.
Chris,
I took
no.
out my phone and showed him a photo of my doctor's LinkedIn. It was him and his husband. Look, I'm 100% sure he's not into me. I'm in the middle of treatment. I can't just switch. I don't care
Oh,
about
nah.
your
Thank you for the stay hydrated, Donna. W, Donna, and Jenna. Thank you, Donna, for the stay hydrated. W, Donna.
Do you have any idea how disrespected I feel? I buried my face in my hands.
What would you
inside.
do if
never
I
thought
said
my
AC
husband-
Thank you for the
better than
$2,
GTAG
Mr.
loudly
Baller.
crying?
What would you do if I said Animal Company is better than Gorilla Tag? Nothing, bro. You're actually correct. Congratulations. Thank you for the $2, Mr. Baller. W.
So unreasonable. So I finally told him the truth. The reason I need the follow-up is because I have cervical cancer. I was so upset that tears started streaming down my face. I don't know how long I have left to live. He stared at me and didn't even care. So
Oh,
you should
nah.
have thought about that before you cheated on me. I asked if he was serious. Dead serious. If
They
you
were
had
the
found a
chili.
female doctor from the start, maybe this wouldn't have happened.
Thank you for the live disco seal. W, seal with the live disco. Thank you for the $1 toughing and cooling. Thank you for the jamming gift. Scary. W, scary and seal, and thank you for the $1.
Actions have
Toughing
consequences.
and
I stared
cooling.
at him. I grabbed my phone and keys. We're done. If you think a
Give
doctor's
us a thumbs
appointment is
up.
cheating, you're going to die alone. He snatched my phone out of my hand. You're not going anywhere. I'm calling your little doctor
for
boyfriend
the
right
flower,
now, and he's going to
Dr.
confess
Pepper.
about your affair. I tried to grab it back, but he was already scrolling through my recent calls. My doctor picked up on the second ring. Oh, I'm so glad you called. I've been trying to reach you. We got your blood work back, and I need to discuss something serious. I scratched my head
Give her
because
the
I
gold
didn't know what
coin.
he was talking about, and Charles smirked at me like he was about to win. Go ahead, doc. Tell us everything. We found an STD in your results.
Oh,
Given
nah.
your medical history, this would have been transmitted from a partner. You need to come in so we can discuss treatment, and you'll need to know.
Thank you for the $2, Donna. W, Donna with the $2. Thank you.
I've never been with anyone else other than my husband. If you're telling the truth, then unfortunately, this means your husband may have been seeing other people. Charles's knees
Oh,
began to
nah.
wobble. No, everything clicked. He'd been
Without give
projecting
chicken
the whole
nugget.
time. I left my doctor appointment.
Oh, nah. Thank you for the $10. Jenna. W, Jenna with the $10. Thank you for the jamming gift, Rowan. W-R Owen with the jamming gift. And W, Jenna with the $10. And Donna. Sorry, this is all I have. It's all good. Thank you, Donna. And W, Jenna with the 10. Thank you, Jenna. They were the $1 King Monkey.
I
Holy.
sat down at a bus stop during a
Thank you
snowstorm
all.
and instantly noticed the woman with nothing but
W's.
green sweater and pale blue lips shivering
Sorry,
next to
this
me.
is
Her
all I
boyfriend
have.
stood beside us in a thick winter jacket, grinning on his phone. I forced her to go out without a jacket. That's what she gets for trying to say no to me. I was shocked because it was 6
That's a
degrees,
Zane.
and he was
Zane.
intentionally depriving his girlfriend of warmth. I took off my jacket and gave it to her, but he noticed and instantly snatched it and gave it back to me. Don't reward her. She did this to herself. She mumbled, "I'm sorry," while her teeth chattered and my eyes went wide. She couldn't even stand up for herself. I gave my coat back to her.
Give her the
but this
gifts.
time, he snatched it more aggressively. She flinched almost like bracing for a hit, and he tossed my jacket into the snow. He told me, "You don't get to override me. She doesn't say no to me. You don't say yes for her." I picked my coat up and brushed the snow off while her face turned blue from the cold. But
They were
then
the star.
I looked over at his thick winter jacket. He was touching it constantly, clearly proud of it. I pointed at the logo and said, "Oh my god, is that a Her Story jacket? I've wanted one for 2 years."
Shout
My
out to
husband won't let
Sunset.
me spend that much. His chest immediately puffed out and he smirked. "Yeah, it's the real one, not the knockoff." I asked if I could please try it on for just 1 second to see how it fit. He laughed and said, "Sure, you'll see what real money feels like." He
Oh,
peeled
nah.
off the jacket
They were the
and handed
6'7"
it to me,
Geo
leaving
World.
himself in
W
just a
Geo
thin
World.
sweater. I instantly draped the jacket over his shaking girlfriend's shoulders. Her hands slipped into the pockets.
I'm
I
gonna
could
be
see her
honest. What is happening?
getting steady. His
What?
face dropped and went red, and he lunged to grab the jacket back. But I got in between them, and right at that moment,
They were the
bus pulled
sparkles.
up. I grabbed her hand and pulled her towards the bus. The boyfriend chased us
Oh,
up to the
nah.
door and gripped her wrist. The driver asked what he was doing, and he angrily replied, "That's my girlfriend." But his eyes were manic, and she looked scared. The driver asked her, "Ma'am, do you know this man?" He tightened his jaw and
No.
mouthed, "You don't say no to me." But she shook her head and loudly said, "No, I don't know this man." The doors shut on his face, and the bus pulled
W.
away. The woman's
They were the live disco neon. W neon with the live disco. Thank you for 6'7" Geo. What was the biggest dono I've ever gotten? $300, bro.
sat down in the thick
Give her
jacket,
6'7"
her
Geo.
face now a normal color, while her boyfriend was left standing in the snow in just a sweater. The next bus was in an hour. I sat down at a bus. My 8-year-old brother caught me at the door at 9:54 p.m.
Yeah, Faz. Are you him, bro?
with one shoe untied and my car keys clenched in my teeth. He was sitting halfway up the stairs in his dinosaur pajamas, watching me. "Where are you going?" I took the keys out of my mouth. "A friend's house. Go back to bed." It's
Yo,
all-
someone banned me on your Discord. They were the Flower Geo World. Yo, KVR, I unbanned you, bro. I unbanned you. It was a mistake.
Can you
Join
call
back.
me Lily? That my real name.
Thank you for the $2, Donna. Sure. Thank you, Lily, for the $2. W Lily, my bad. For the hiding gifts, Edward and Geo. Lily, thank you.
Almost 10. I know. Mom said you were staying in. Mom's asleep. He didn't move. Under his voice, I could hear the faint wheeze that always crept in at night from his asthma. I'd spent 3 weekends of babysitting money on the new inhaler sitting on his nightstand and made him swear on a stack
Remember
of
that,
his
Happy
Pokemon
Poo?
cards to keep it on him at all times. I'll be back before midnight, I said. He looked at his knees. Promise? Promise. I unzipped my backpack and pressed the pack of gummy worms I'd been saving for the drive into his palm. For staying quiet. What if I need you? You won't. You've got your inhaler, right? He nodded into his lap. Bed. Now. He padded back up the stairs. I locked the door behind me, switched my phone to silent, and drove to the party. When I pulled back into the driveway just after
A
1
party?
a.m., the front
What?
door was standing open. Every single light in the house was on. The porch light, the upstairs hallway light, even the lamp in the living
Superstar.
room I never turned on. The door should
Oh,
have been
nah.
locked. I got out of my car and walked up to the front steps. I pushed the door open the rest of the way and stepped inside. Mom? Nobody answered. Dad? Ben? The TV in the living room was on with the sound muted. A glass of water on the coffee table.
Thank you for the $2, Lily. Lily with the $2. Thank you, Lily.
That okay, sorry I asked.
It's okay. It's okay. Thank you. You don't have to even say sorry. Lily with the 2. Thank you for the hiding it. Dark caca cookie. How did you know I owned the clip channel? It's obvious.
Had been knocked over. I ran
I
up
know
the stairs
everything.
2 at a time. Mom and Dad's bedroom door was open, and their bed was empty. Ben's door was open too. His blanket was bunched up on the floor next to his bed. His inhaler was on the floor next to the nightstand. I picked it up. It was full. I ran back downstairs to the kitchen. There was a note on the counter in Mom's handwriting. It said, Ben had an attack. Couldn't find his
They were
inhaler.
6'7",
We are
Leo.
at the ER. Call me now. I pulled my phone out of my pocket. I had 11 missed calls from Mom and 4 from Dad.
Oh my
The
God.
last text was from Dad at 11:30 p.m. It said, he keeps asking for you. Where are you? I sat down on the kitchen
Oh,
floor
nah.
with the inhaler in my hand. The empty gummy worm wrapper was on the counter next to the note. He had come back downstairs looking for me. The doctors said they almost lost him. I haven't left him alone at night since.
Holy W. I mean, no, L. They were the W.
I opened the front door
That's sad.
to let my boyfriend into the house. My parents just left.
Let's
My
watch.
boyfriend carried his Xbox into the hospital room and asked, where's the
They were the Uncle Alert, Liam. Liam with the Uncle Alert. Thank you, Liam. Liam Paul. And they were the GG Easy Edward. Liam, though, with the Uncle Alert. Thank you, bro. W.
I grabbed the bed rail and breathed through the pain alone while he plugged in the Xbox like he had every night for the past 9 months. The nurse came to check how far along I was and
You're
glared
hiding
at
of
him.
Melissa.
We're getting close to having a baby. He ignored her and put on his headset.
Is
Yeah,
bro
man.
really playing Xbox in the hospital?
I'm back. We're just waiting around. I reached for him. Can you hold my hand? He held up
Are
one
you
finger
serious?
without turning around. I grabbed his arm. I need you. His thumbs kept working the controller.
Are
You're
you
doing great.
serious,
I
bro?
clutched my belly. It really hurts. And he turned up his headphones. The nurse held out her hand for the controller.
Such
He
a
set it on
dream.
the bed next to me. How long is this going to take? The pain
Dreamer
peaked,
is
and when I
sleepy.
screamed, he rolled his eyes. He pulled away from
Oh,
the mic.
nah.
You don't need to be that loud. My squad can hear you.
Are
The
we
nurse stepped
serious,
between him
bro?
and the bed.
Are
She
we
is an
serious right now? Are we serious?
active labor. He shrugged. Yeah, I know. That's why we're here. And put his headphones back on. The nurse leaned close and squeezed my shoulder. You're doing amazing. The nurse turned to me. It's time to push. She turned to him. Get up and hold her.
Can I
Thank
get
you for the
mod on Discord?
$20 KVR. Can you be a mod on? Can you get mod on Discord? Yes. I'll give you moderator. Yes. Thank you, bro. WKVR with the $20, bro. You're actually goated. Yes, I'll give you mod. WKVR. Thank you, bro. W.
Hand. He kept gaming.
Thank
When
you
I
for the
finished this match
20K.
first, it's ranked. She walked across the
W,
room and
bro.
ripped the Xbox cord out of the wall. The
Thank
screen
you.
went black. He shot up out of his chair. What the hell? Do you know how long I've been grinding that rank? The nurse held her ground. Your girlfriend is about to give birth to your son. Maybe be here for it. He turned to me, but I turned.
Yeah, that is true. You can't be playing Xbox in a hospital. But thank you for the 20 though, KVR. And thank you for the trophy cake, Elliot. Elliot with the trophy cake. Thank you for the jamming gift, Liam. Liam with the jamming gift. Thank you, Liam. But Elliot with the trophy cake. Thank you so much, Elliot. Elliot, bro. Thank you for the $2. Die Gods. Die Gods with the 2. You're taking bribes? What do you mean?
Dude, you're taking bribes?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I don't know what you mean, though. You were the 2, though. Elliot with the
20
Go
minutes
Trophy.
later,
Or
our
the
son
trophy
was
cake.
born, and when the nurse placed him on my chest, I started to cry. My boyfriend reached out. Can I hold him? I pulled my baby closer. I've got him. I always had. My boyfriend
Oh,
carried
nah.
his Xbox.
Thank you for the trophy cake, Lily. W Lily, aka Donna. Thank you, Lily, for the goat trophy. Or I mean the trophy cake. Give her the high five, Zen. W Zen. Thank you for the trophy cake.
I dropped my grandma's
Lily,
wedding
W
ring down
Lily.
the bathroom drain at 3 a.m. and had 3 hours to get it back before she woke up. The ring tapped against the
Thank
drain
you.
once and was gone. I reached down, but couldn't even get my fingers past the grate. Grandma always said this ring would be mine when I got married someday. She'd worn it for 60 years and only took it off to sleep.
Give her the
So
W,
tonight, I
Galaxy
snuck in,
Monkey.
slid the ring off the soap dish and held it under the light for 1 whole minute. Then I bobbled it. She was going to wake up at 6 and reach for it the second she opened her eyes. I had to get it out before sunrise. I tiptoed to the kitchen, grabbed a butter knife, and ran back to the bathroom. I tried unscrewing the pipe under the sink, but it wouldn't budge.
Give her
I
the
leaned
flower,
further into
Dr.
the
Day.
cabinet and saw a small red toolbox shoved against the back wall. I'd never seen it before. Inside was a pipe wrench sitting on a folded cloth like it had been waiting for me. I wedged the wrench onto the pipe joint and pulled with everything I had. The pipe groaned loose, and a stream of black sludgy water poured down my chest. I was reaching into the open pipe when I heard her bedroom door creak open down the hall. Then her slippers slid across the hardwood toward the bathroom. I froze with my arms still inside the cabinet and pipe water dripping off my chin. Her footsteps stopped halfway down the hall. I heard her open a cabinet, take down a glass, close the cabinet, and shuffle back to her bedroom. I unscrewed the pipe, and the ring dropped into my palm. I clamped my hand over my mouth to keep from laughing out loud. Then I heard her bedroom door open again. Grandma was standing in the bathroom doorway in her robe. She walked in and stopped at the edge of the puddle.
Give her the
Neither
star.
of us said anything for what felt like a full minute. Your grandfather rolled his eyes both times I dropped this ring down the drain. He kept the wrench down here for me. She crouched down, took the ring out of my palm, and slid it back onto her finger. Then she took the wrench out of my other hand and tightened the—
Thank you for the $1, Lily. Or aka Donna. W Lily with the $1. Thank you, Lily. W.
pipe like she'd done it
We're hiding
100
it.
times. The first sunlight came through the window. She set the wrench back on the folded cloth and closed the cabinet. Now you know where it is. I dropped my grandma's wedding ring down the bathroom.
What happened to your admin role? What do you mean?
I walked into my daughter's hospital room and saw her holding a teddy bear, and I instantly asked, "Where'd you get that?" She just smiled. "A nice man came by today. He gave it to all—"
Yo, wait. Thank you for the $5, bro.
Yo, yo, yo.
Oh, that's a lie.
walked in-
That ain't that guy. You liar. They were $5 though, Ninny. W Ninny with the $5. That ain't you though. That's not you, bro.
About to surprise a
Who is your favorite Roblox user?
Oh,
I walked
okay, chat. Do you just wait?
Who is your favorite Roblox user?
What the hell? What did I do? Okay.
all of us.
Thank you for the $5 though.
I instantly felt a pit in my stomach. A little later, I saw him myself. He was walking from room to room with a bag of teddy bears, placing one on each kid's
You're
bed.
hiding
He
it.
didn't say much. Just
You were the
nodded
jamming gift, Valentina. W Valentina with the jamming gift. Thank you,
and
Valentina.
moved on. I thought it was odd, but Rory's mom saw him and panicked. "Who are you? Why
W
are you near my daughter?"
Valentina.
He looked at her quietly and said, "I don't want the kids to be alone." She wasn't having it. She started yelling that the
Thank you for the $5 though, Ninny. W Ninny. Thank you.
bears must have cameras inside them. So she grabbed the one off Rory's bed and ripped it open in front of everyone. Cotton spilled across the floor. There were no cameras, no wires, just stuffing. But she didn't back down. She screamed for security, told them he was a creep, that
Give her the
something
gold
had to
coin.
be wrong with a man like that. They escorted him out in front of all of us, and he didn't fight back. He just kept saying he didn't want the kids to be alone. I felt weird about it, but later that afternoon, I walked past the memorial wall by the nurse's station, and I couldn't believe it. There was a photo of a little girl holding the exact same bear the man was giving to all the kids. I asked the nurse about it, and she told me the girl had died with just her teddy bear keeping her company.
R.I.P. Bro, Faz. Management, staff, and moderator, they're all the same. I don't know what my owner is doing, bro.
So her dad made bears for every kid in the ward so that they would all have the same comfort his daughter had in her final moments. I walked into my daughter's hospital room. 30 minutes into my
That's
first
a me,
solo
Leah.
flight, the man next to me told me my Tourette's was disgusting. I'd put my earbuds in,
That's
phone in
crazy.
my lap, head down, trying to stay invisible. The tick was small, just a throat sound, the kind of thing most people don't even notice. He
Yeah.
noticed. "Do you have to keep making that noise?" I
Bruh.
pretended I didn't
Give
hear
her
him
6'7".
until he turned to face me. "That noise is disgusting. What's wrong with you?" I kept my eyes on my phone. "Hey, I'm talking to you. Are you sick?" "I have Tourette's." He looked at me like I'd said something in another language. "A tick? Like a nervous habit? So you just get to sit here making that sound for 4 hours and
That's
nobody
crazy. That's rude.
does anything about it?" I looked back at my phone and the tick came again, louder. He stood up and waved down a flight attendant. "She keeps making this disgusting noise.
her the happy
I paid
poop.
for this seat. Do something." The flight attendant crouched next to me. "Is everything okay?" "I have Tourette's." She nodded once and turned to him. "Sir, that's a neurological condition. She can't control it." He waved her off. "I don't care what it is. I shouldn't have to listen to it." My face went hot and the tick fired 3 times in a row. I tried to breathe and I couldn't.
Oh,
and my
nah.
hands were shaking and the whole row was watching me and I was about to cry fly on a plane in front of strangers. The flight attendant looked at me, then turned to him. Sir, gather your things and come with me. His mouth fell open. You're moving me? For the rest of the flight? Yes. He grabbed his bag and stormed off muttering. She watched him leave and
You were
sat
hiding
down
it,
next to me.
Azor.
I'm sorry you had to sit through that. She pulled a small orange bottle out of her uniform pocket. Her hand was steady as she shook 2 tablets into her palm. I have it too. These take the edge off. I looked at her and she nodded once. I took them.
Imagine it's poison. They were hiding it.
The
Oh
tip
hell no.
flowed somewhere over Ohio, and by the time we landed,
Ohio. They were the Uncler Azor. W Azor with the Uncler. Thank you, Azor. W Azor with the
I'd been quiet
Uncler.
for an
Thank
hour.
you.
She nodded at me at the door, but I never got her name. I'd boarded that flight trying to stay invisible. She'd been working it knowing exactly why I was. Third
W. They were the Corgi gift. Cats are cute. W cats are cute with the Corgi gift. Thank you, bro. W cats are cute. Thank you so much for the Corgi. W cats are cute. And W Azor with the Uncler. Thank you
I was
both.
excitedly telling the group that I finally beat 5 Nights at Freddy's last night when Clayton slammed his tray down next to me. Girls can't play video games. You just scream and cry like all of them do.
Are
The
we
whole
serious, bro? That's cap. Fuck. Yo, what's up, Eternal Andrew?
cafeteria table heard him. The girl next to me piped up and said, "Bro,
You were
we're
6'7".
literally playing 5 Nights at Freddy's at Jake's on Friday. Come show us what you've got." I picked up my fork and kept eating. I'm going to beat the game in front of him and prove that girls are just as good. Friday night, 6
Shout
of
out to
us crammed
Freedom
in Jake's
Scooter.
basement, and someone handed Clayton the controller. He pushed it toward the next person. Nah, 5 Nights at Freddy's is for babies. You go. They pushed it back. He sighed.
You were the clock it, Annie. Thank you for the Uncler, Forsaken King. W, Forsaken King with the Uncler. Thank you,
Like
Forsaken
they were the
King.
problem. He
W.
clicked into night 1. The first jump scare, he yelped and dropped the controller into his lap. By night 2 in the game, he was shaking and jumping out of his seat with every encounter. By night 3, he was full screaming
Oh,
anytime
nah.
he saw an animatronic and telling
You're
everyone to
hiding it.
shut up. Night 4, his voice cracked and tears were running down his face. Then Foxy got him. He shrieked and threw the controller in the air. Then the wet spot bloomed
Oh,
across the front of his
yo, that's crazy. What the?
jeans. Nobody laughed. Nobody moved. I watched him sit there in his
Yo.
own piss, still visibly shaking. I stood up and walked across
Are we
the room.
serious,
I
bro?
held out my hand. Clayton gave me the controller without looking
Give
up.
a thumbs
I beat
up,
night
Derek.
1, then night 2, 3, and 4. I didn't flinch once. He sat on the wet couch the entire time, staring at the carpet. When the sun came up at the end of night 5, I set the controller down on the coffee table and turned to him. Look who's screaming and crying now. He didn't answer. I was
Yo, they were the Uncler, Forsaken King. W, Forsaken King with the Uncler. Thank you, Forsaken King. W, Forsaken King, bro. Thank you.
I woke up on the
W.
couch and realized I had 17 minutes to put 2 kids back in bed before their parents got home. My head was pounding. The
Thank
last
you,
thing I remembered
bro,
was one of the kids I had
for
been
the Uncle Earth.
babysitting screaming if I wanted to play one more round of hide and seek, and the other screaming for pizza. I told them both no and shoved them into their rooms. Then I sat down on the couch to wait out the headache.
You're
and
the
closed my eyes
6'7" finding Sir stunts. Thank you for the gold coins and GOHFs and hiding
for what
gifts.
was
Thank you,
supposed to
guys.
be a minute. I looked at the clock. 11:43.
Shout out to John.
It had been almost 4 hours. The parents were home from the wedding in 17 minutes. If those kids weren't in their beds when that front door opened, I'd never get hired in this town again.
You were the
I ran
hiding
to the
gift,
kids' room
Thomas.
and found the door already open. Both beds empty with the sheets thrown back like they'd just gotten up. I ran downstairs and checked the bathroom, the kitchen, the living room, but they were all empty. Their shoes were still lined up
Thank you
by
for
the
the
front door.
flower.
I tried the handle and it was locked from the inside. I went window to window in the living room and every latch was flipped.
I cannot give you owner, Faz. I only gave the other guy owner because he said he could help out with the server. Thank you for the flower, Jace.
They were somewhere in this house. Or
Can't give
somebody had
anyone
come in
else
while I was
it.
asleep and taken them. I grabbed my phone
Sorry,
off
bro.
the coffee table. The mom had texted at 9:15. How's bedtime going? I'd never answered, and calling her now meant telling her I'd lost her kids.
They were
I
the
put
flower.
phone face down. I ran upstairs into the parents' bedroom, the one room the kids weren't allowed in, and yanked open the closet. Just coats. I pushed back the curtains, and nothing was behind them. I dropped to the floor and looked under the bed, but they weren't there either. I sat down at the top of the stairs, and my hands were shaking. Then a small sound came from down the hall, like a giggle someone had clamped a hand over. I followed it to the laundry room, and the hamper was shaking. I lifted the lid. Both kids were sitting inside in their pajamas, the 8-year-old holding her little brother's hand. They stared up at me like they'd been waiting. You slept for 4 hours. I dropped to my knees. What is wrong with you two? Why wouldn't you just stay in bed? We were playing hide and seek. You
Happy
said no
birthday, Fancy VR. Thank you for the flower, Forsaken King. Happy birthday, Fancy VR. Can we get a happy birthday in the chat for Fancy VR? Happy birthday, bro. Happy birthday. Give her flower again.
before bed, so we played after. Headlights swept across the front window. I yanked them out of the hamper and shoved them toward their room. Get in bed, now. The 8-year-old stopped halfway and turned around. Pizza, every Friday, or I tell. The front door opened downstairs. We're home. I came down the stairs trying to look normal. How were they?
This is pre-recorded? No, it's not. I'm alive, bro. I'm
Angels,
real.
I said. Now I babysit them every Friday. They get pizza every Friday, and the 8-year-old has never said a
Every
word.
Friday.
I was on a video call with my family from a hotel when my
I
babysitter
don't
Kim was saying
no, I don't want
I
to
was at
watch
my high
that.
school reunion when a woman
No.
Hey, Mom, an
Okay,
8-year-old
there we
boy
go.
I'd never seen was shivering on my doorstep. His lips were turning
Oh,
purple
hell nah.
from the cold. I wasn't
Guys, subscribe right now if you want shout out. Let's hit the big 155K. Come on, bro.
his mom, but he was freezing, so I brought him inside and wrapped him in a blanket. Honey, I don't think I'm your mom. He grinned like I had a terrible memory.
It's actually my birthday tomorrow, but I'm saying it's today because who cares? Well, still, happy birthday, though. I mean, in an hour, it's about to be tomorrow. Well, for me, I don't know.
It's me, Dylan. You always say
That's
that,
an ugly
Mom. So
VR.
what's for dinner? I made him
Give me the
meatloaf, and he
GG.
ate like he hadn't seen food in days. I stepped outside and called a social worker. They said they'd
You're a
send someone
flower,
in the
cry
morning. I
cloud.
told Dylan
It's your birthday, too. Okay, guys, chill, chill, chill. It is not everybody's birthday. I only believed him because I thought it was. It sounds true, bro. It
Dylan he
is.
could stay the night until we figured things out and set up the couch. That night, Dylan came into the kitchen and asked for a napkin. I handed him one and he grabbed a pen off the counter. He didn't look at me while he wrote. He slid it across the table. My dad put
Give
me
her the
up to
gold
this.
coin.
He makes me come in and steal from people who feel sorry for me. I stared at the words. He pulled the napkin back and kept writing. He put a listening device under my shirt. He can hear everything we say right now. I reached for the pen. Can I call the police? He wrote back fast.
Shout out to
If he
Poppy
sees
Reds.
cops show up, he'll kill you. He was 8 years old and his hands were shaking. Show me.
Give her the
He
hiding
pulled his
gift.
collar down and a small black device was taped to his chest.
Is
I
it-
peeled it off without
Chat,
making a
at
sound
first I thought that was a microphone.
and set it on the counter, still running. I put my finger to my lips and pointed to the garage.
Thank you for the jamming gift, Slinks. W Slinks with the jamming gift. You're turning 13, but nice, bro. Nice. Thank you for the jamming gift, Slinks. W Slinks.
In the back seat and ducked down. He climbed in without a word. I opened
Shout out
the
to
garage
Stars.
and backed onto the street. In my rearview mirror, a large man kicked my front door off its hinges. I floored it. Within 30 seconds, he was right behind us. He pulled alongside me, screaming, "Pull over," and a few things I can't repeat. I stared.
20
straight
more
ahead. He
subs,
slammed
chat. Everybody subscribe right now if you want to shout
his
out.
car into mine and we hit the guardrail. The engine was dead and smoke poured from the hood. I grabbed Dylan's hand and we ran with his dad right behind us. We ran through the trees and hit a clearing. The lights of a police station glowed at the end of the block. We made it to the front door and I reached for the handle. A hand grabbed my shoulder and spun me
Shout
around.
out to
His dad,
Spider-Man.
fist raised. Got you. 2 officers burst through the door and
What
had him
the
on
hell?
the ground before his arm came down. Dylan wrapped both arms around my waist. An officer knelt in front of him. "You're safe now. Is this your mom?" Dylan looked up at me and squeezed my hand. "Yeah, that's my mom." "Hey, Mom."
W.
An 8-year-old boy I'd never. My grandson
They
opened the garage
survived.
on his 16th birthday and saw the 1969 Chevy I had spent 18 months fixing up for him. I had sanded the panels myself, and now it had a red bow on
Shout out
the
to
hood that
Honda.
my daughter tied because my Parkinson's disease wouldn't let me. "Grandma, is this for real? All my friends drive at least BMWs. What is this?" He looked at it with disgust. My eyes
Are
watered
we
because I
serious,
hadn't
bro?
expected this reaction. "This was your grandfather's. It's very sentimental. I spent a year and a half restoring it for you. Grandpa drove this? No wonder Dad never talks about him." He stormed off back into the house
Oh,
to
nah.
get ready for school. I had no idea what I was going to do with the car I had built for a kid who wouldn't even look at it. I didn't even have my own car because I spent all my money on repairs. So after school was over, I drove it to pick him up. I was just waiting for him when I saw a kid with torn clothes waiting for the bus. And just as we locked eyes, he checked out the Chevy and ran towards me. He walked a slow circle around it without putting his hand on it.
Oh, wow.
69, right? He said, almost to himself. I knew this kid knew cars. I stepped out of the car. "She sure is." He smiled in a way that warmed my heart. My uncle had one of these
Shout out
before
to
he died.
Midnight.
He used to let me hand him wrenches in his driveway on weekends. We used to sell the cars we fixed and use the extra money to buy ice cream, back when we could still afford dessert. I felt so bad for him that I wanted to hug him. "I've gotta go, ma'am. My bus is almost here." "Wait," I called after him. "You want it?" He laughed once. Then he saw my face and
Shout
stopped
out to
laughing.
Linda.
"Wait, really? I can't. I don't
Oh,
have
thank
anything
you
to give
guys for 155K. I'm a bit late, but 067 Nick. Yep, W 155K. Okay, bro. Let's go. Let's go. Oh yeah. W. It's actually W.
return. "Unless you want my bus ticket?" He looked so sad about being poor that it broke my heart. "That's not how gifts work." I smiled. I was holding up the keys to the Chevy when my grandson came out the front doors of the school. He saw me and his eyes went wide and he ran across the lot, screaming. I had no idea what he was going to do next, but it looked like he was throwing a tantrum. Hey,
Oh,
that's my
nah.
car. That's my birthday present.
What?
What are you doing?" The kid took a step back, afraid of getting hit. "You didn't want it, honey," I said. "This kid appreciates it like it deserves. My grandson's blood boiled with anger. The kid looked at the car and then his bus ticket, and then my grandson like he was debating what to do. I took the
hell
bus
no.
ticket and handed it to my grandson. The car is yours. Consider it a trade. Then he got in behind the wheel of the Chevy, and I got
Oh,
in the
he got
passenger
the
seat.
car?
Oh, and
Oh, nah.
by the way, your dad doesn't talk about your
You're
granddad.
the Laughing Disco Oscar. W Oscar with the Laughing Disco. Thank you, Oscar. Thank you for the flower. MM2, Jamie. W Oscar.
Because he was ashamed of you and always talked about you being spoiled. Then we drove off, leaving my grandson in the dust. My grandson opened the
Ew.
door. I pressed on the accelerator to drive my 5-year-old Julia home after school.
Give
But
her the
2
W,
minutes into
Bella.
the drive, she tapped my shoulder and said, "I'm not your daughter." I looked in the rearview mirror and gasped in horror. The girl had Julia's hair, Julia's jacket, Julia's purple shoes and backpack, but it wasn't Julia. It was her classmate Amber, and she was crying. "Why
Give
are
her the
you
gold
pretending
coin
to be
party,
Julia?
GT.
My mommy told me to swap clothes with Julia today and go home with you," she replied through tears. "My daddy is coming to kidnap me after school today."
Give her the
I went
hiding
pale
gifts
because
and
this meant
GG
Amber's
gifts.
dad thought Julia was Amber and was currently kidnapping my daughter. I turned around and floored the accelerator back to school. Amber cried and kept saying sorry, and then my phone rang with an unknown number. It was Julia sobbing. Amber's
Oh,
dad
nah.
took me. He says meet him at the diner across town. Suddenly she screamed, and his voice came through. "I don't know what stupid game you're playing switching clothes, but if you don't bring Amber there in 30, you
That's a
won't see your
pickle
daughter
stars.
again." I heard the sound of him reloading a pistol, followed by the call ending. I felt like throwing up and gripped the wheel tight. I began driving to the diner while Amber sobbed. "I'm sorry. I don't want my daddy to hurt Julia, but I don't want him to hurt me too." My
Give her
heart
the
pounded
clutch.
because I didn't know what to do. Saving my daughter meant sacrificing an innocent kid. We pulled into the diner parking lot.
I mean,
22
that's
minutes later,
true,
where
yeah.
I saw Amber's dad's car. My face dropped as I
Oh,
saw the gun
nah.
in his hubby. He was staring at Amber in my back seat while Julia cried beside him in Amber's clothes. He got out.
Chat,
leaned
it
over
might be
Amber,
over.
and I looked at her and nodded. She wiped her tears and opened the door. He grabbed her and walked back to his car while she started crying again. Then he let Julia go. She sprinted at me and hugged me, and I suddenly gave the signal. 4 cop cars pulled in and surrounded Amber's
W.
dad. His face dropped and he reached
That's
for his gun,
pickle
but his
stars.
face dropped as it wasn't there. Amber had taken it from him while he was distracted by the cops pulling in, just like I told her. He reached for it, but it
W.
was too late. They tackled and cuffed him while he
Let's
was still
go.
wrestling his
W.
daughter for a
So that's a
gun. I walked
colossal
over, and
gamer.
Me and Julia and Amber all hugged while he watched, angry red in the face. I
W. They were the Sunday Lewis. W Lewis with the Sunday. Thank you, Lewis. Nah, Chad, that's revenge though, bro. W.
When my son was born, my parents looked at him in disgust. "What is that?" they asked, pointing at his eyes that were 2 different colors.
What?
The nurse
Bro,
explained
what?
he has a condition called heterochromia. Mom scoffed like she was disgusted. I turned to her with
What's wrong with that? In fact, that's like actually cool. Did you give me the mod because it didn't show up in Discord? I can't give it right now. I gotta give it after stream. They were the... Telltale 11 prods. They were the hiding gift. They were the flower.
tears in my
11
eyes
skittle.
because during childhood she'd always been obsessed about what I looked like, but I thought she didn't care anymore. "Mom, you
What's up,
promised me you'd
Turbo?
want to be part of my child's life no matter what he looked like." My dad
What's
rolled his eyes
good?
like I was the one in the wrong. "I want a normal grandchild, not one that looks ugly." Both my parents walked out, and I never knew when I was going to see them again. But a year later, I got pregnant again and gave birth to another son, and this one didn't have heterochromia. My parents found out and called me, begging to be a part of my children's lives. "Please, we've changed," Mom pleaded. "We're ready to be the grandparents your children deserve." Against my better judgment, I let my parents back into my life.
Bruh, are we
They
serious?
immediately started doting on my younger son Jacob while completely ignoring Calvin. They gave Jacob expensive gifts when they came to visit and barely even looked at the pictures Calvin would draw
Are we serious, bro?
for
They
them.
were the
Then I
W.
came home from work one
Team
day while my
twins.
parents were babysitting my sons, and I couldn't find Calvin anywhere. My parents were in the living room playing with Jacob. After several seconds of frantic searching, I finally found Calvin in the backyard,
Give it a
locked
GG.
out of the house and crying hysterically. "Get out!" I ordered my parents, voice cold. They looked shocked. "Get out!" I screamed. "You're going to regret this," Mom snapped as they stormed out of the
Get
house.
out.
About a month later, I came
It's actually rude though, chat.
early to
You
find
don't really, you shouldn't do
my
that.
parents' car in the driveway. My heart dropped and I rushed into the house to find my parents on the floor in the living room playing with Jacob. Calvin was nowhere to be found. "Where's Calvin?" I demanded. Mom shrugged. "Last I saw, he was out back," she said. My heart started racing in my chest as I ran into the backyard, calling his name. I finally found him in the garage, unconscious next to the refrigerator
Oh,
with an open
nah.
can of alcohol next to him. I freaked out, scooped him up, and ran back to the house. Mom glanced at me
Bro.
with a frown. "He's probably just faking it," she said dismissively. "He always wants attention." I immediately called 911. The cops arrested my parents while the paramedics checked out Calvin. I went to my parents' court hearing, and Mom said on the stand, "It's not our fault our oldest grandchild was born ugly."
People the happy
Got the
people. Are we
maximum prison
serious?
sentence. When my stomach immediately sank when I saw the toddler alone in the back seat of a black SUV. It was 94 degrees, and his face was
94 degrees?
red and
Holy.
his head was limp. I instantly
It's
He
over.
went pale because I knew he might die. I sprinted
Shout out
across
to
the lot
Pepsi.
and pulled the door, but it was locked. The toddler slowly raised his head with these sunken, tired eyes and weakly
Guys, feel free to send gifts like laughing discos.
pressed
Okay,
his
guys,
clean
if you
hands on
want.
the glass. I was terrified and looked around frantically for anyone, but the lot was empty. I dialed 911 with shaking hands, and the operator said, "A unit is 15 minutes away. Just stay calm and wait for it, ma'am." But when I looked back at the kid, I knew I couldn't just wait for it. He was mouthing, "Help me," and salt
You've
was
been in
pouring
125 degrees? How are you still alive? Genuinely. It's 105 degrees. No, I'm talking about like in a car. Like 125 degrees. It's insane. They were live. Let's go pumpkin latte GT. W pumpkin latte with the live and disco. Thank you, bro. And thank you for the jamming gift. Slinks. W Slinks with the jamming gift. Thank you, Slinks.
down his
Appreciate
face
it.
because he was so dehydrated. He clearly didn't have 15
Thank
minutes.
you for the
and I
GG,
thought
Sammy.
about what kind of mother would forget her kid in a hot car. Panicking, I picked up the nearest shopping cart. I looked at the car window and my heart pounded because I knew this was
They were the
illegal,
live with
but I
disco
just
pumpkin
grit
latte. W pumpkin latte with the live with disco again. They were the live with disco again pumpkin latte. W pumpkin latte. 3 laughing discos, I think. Thank you. 4 laughing discos in total. They were the flower lightning, please.
teeth and smashed the metal
They were the jamming gift links. W links with the jamming gift. Thank you.
part into the window anyway. The glass shattered, cutting my arm, but I didn't care and just quickly reached through the broken window and scrambled
out to
unlock
Sky.
the door. I unbuckled the boy's seatbelt and yanked him out.
They were the
but he
hiding
was burning
gifts
hot
and
barely
W's.
even moving anymore. I sprinted toward the target entrance with him in my arms and held him in front of the AC vent, praying he was alive. I watched
Come
the
on.
cool air blow in his face and my heart settled as he started gasping back.
W. They were live. Let's go Cooper. W Cooper with the live. Let's go. They were 6-7 Rian. They were $5 rodeo. W rodeo with the $5. Thank you, rodeo. Shout out to Allison. W rodeo. Thank you, rodeo, for the 5. And they were the jamming gift
WSG
links.
bro.
W Slinks and W Cooper with the live. Let's go. Thank you all. What's up, though, rodeo? Thank you for the
But then
5.
suddenly, it jumped again when I heard the shriek. Someone broke into my car. I looked back and saw a woman standing at the SUV, hands over her head. I wanted to scream at her for forgetting her kid in a hot car, but then I noticed her pram. It had a baby asleep inside it. Before I could process what this meant, when she saw me and marched over, "You had no right to break window. My child was sleeping inside my car, so I left him there." But I just looked at her pram and said, "Okay, but if you took your sleeping baby out of the car, then why did you leave your toddler inside even though it's 94 degrees?"
Exactly.
Her eyes went wide, and the look on her face instantly told me she didn't leave her toddler because he was sleeping. She'd locked him in the hot car deliberately. I immediately pulled my phone and dialed
Oh,
911, reporting her for trying to kill her child.
Oh, thank you for the rose frog, boy. Nah, you're joking.
My stomach immediately. My boyfriend kept letting his bros call me Twiggy at the arcade, so I told them to put their money where their mouths were. They'd been at it all night, asking if I needed help carrying my soda, wrapping their fingers around my wrist to show how thin it was. My boyfriend
Are we
laughed
serious,
every
bro?
time instead of telling them to stop. So I walked them to the strength tester at the back wall. "Fine, let's settle it. Let's see who's the strongest. $100 each to the strongest." We spit in our hands and shook on it. They slapped their hundreds on the machine and lined up to show me how it was done. The loud bro went first. He walked up to the machine and pointed at me. "Watch and learn, Twig." He set his feet and slammed his fist into the pad. The puck shot up the
How
tower and
much?
stopped at
743. Not bad. That's not bad.
743. He held his phone next to the score and
It's alright.
flexed. The hype bro shoved him aside and wound up huge. He swung and missed
Chat.
the pad
Oh,
completely.
oh,
The
nah.
force spun him in a full circle. He squared up red-faced.
Chat, be honest. If you did this game, how many points do you think you would get? I think I would get like 500 maybe, bro. Not too much. If you did the game.
Tried again. The puck shot up and the score spun crazy before stopping at 1. He scowled at the screen and slammed.
Is
his
my
eyes
chat
machine.
frozen? I think my chat is frozen. Hold on. Type 1 in the chat. I can't. The chat ain't working. Shout out to who is DNG. Okay, now it's working. Bro,
Glitched.
what?
His next swing landed, and the puck climbed to 5. A little kid pushed through the crowd and pointed at him. "Mister, you're weak." My boyfriend stepped up with his chest puffed out. "Babe, if you somehow..."
Oh, I missed the chat. I'm so sorry. Oh my gosh, the chat just went fast. See, we're live. Let's go, Achillenia. Sorry that I mixed your gift. Achillenia, they were 6-7. Holy. You got 866 at David Buster's. Damn. 1? What do you got? Oh.
beat me, I'll
The chat is not working. I'm so sorry, chat.
carry
It's
you
not working.
piggyback through the whole mall. His bros cracked up. He rolled his shoulders and cracked his neck like he was warming up for a fight. He swung. The puck shot past 800 and stopped at 880. The bell vibrated but didn't ring. He turned to me grinning.
Guys, the chat is going so fast that the chat went frozen on my screen. I cannot. Messages are not working, bro. Guys, subscribe right now if you want a shout out, though. I just cannot see gifts or anything. I don't know why. I'm so sorry.
Like he'd already won. Babe, try not to embarrass yourself. His bros laughed while strangers behind us raised their phones. I walked to the pad without saying a word. I rolled up my sleeves, cracked my neck, and set my feet. Coach walked out and leaned against the wall with his arms
Shout out to
crossed.
Skylar.
I drove my fist into the pad. The puck shot up the tower
You were
and
6'7",
smashed into the bell
Bob.
so hard it snapped off and rolled across the floor.
Now I
The
see
screen
chat.
lit up 999 in red letters. The alarm started screaming and the lights flashed everywhere. The bros just stood there with their mouths open. Coach walked over and pushed the broken bell aside with his foot. Bella, what did I tell you about my machines? Save those
Give
fists
her the
for
hiding gift.
nationals on Saturday.
Holy street! The chat is going super fast. Holy!
Coach also owned the arcade.
That's a Elmo. That's a Pietro.
I'd been training at his gym next door for 2 years. The loud bro's face went pale and his phone slipped out of his hand. She's a boxer? I held out
Shout
my
out to
hand
Zayden.
and they grabbed their hundreds and handed them to me one by one. My boyfriend squatted down without a word and I climbed onto his back. Strangers in the
Shout
mall
out to
raised
Araya.
their phones as he carried me out. I waved at his bros over his shoulder. Bye, Twiggies. I reached over and flicked my boyfriend's ear. Try not to drop me, babe. My boyfriend kept
Oh,
letting
nah.
his bros call me Twiggy. I walked into my own birthday party, knowing my best friend planned to humiliate me in front of the whole school. I'd seen the screenshots from her group chat the night before. I'd cried in my bathroom for 2 hours, and then I'd taken the screenshots back. 3 months ago, I told her about the senior I had a
Give her
crush
the
on
gold
in
coin.
confidence because she was supposed to be my
Pietro.
best friend. So when she opened the door
Appreciate
and
it.
threw her arms around me, yelling, "Happy birthday, queen! We love you!" I hugged her back and gripped my phone so hard my knuckles went white. Wouldn't miss it. She steered me through the house with her arm
Guys,
hooked around my
subscribe right now if you want a shout out. Let's gain like a lot of subscribers. Come on, guys, subscribe right now if you want a shout out.
past the speakers where Henry was
They
leaning
were
against
live
the
with this girl, Achillean. Thank you, Achillean. Oh, yo, I can't speak.
wall, past a projector aimed at the back patio.
Yo, what did you just say? Mason does XD. Yo, you're sus, bro. You're actually sus.
Out to the pool.
You're sus. W Achillean, though. They were live
lit
with
up
this
blue
girl.
in the middle of the yard. Let's
Mason, you're sus,
take a
bro.
picture before it gets dark. Her grip tightened on my arm 3 feet from the edge, and I pulled back. Wait, everyone, I have an announcement. I unlocked my phone and
Shout out to Seth
looked
Plays.
past, and her group chat lit up across the back wall. Saturday plans. She lunged for my phone, but I stepped back and scrolled. The first message went up. Okay, so here's how we embarrass her at
Give
her
her
own
the W.
party. We push her in right when the sun goes down, so the whole school sees her makeup running. The yard went dead quiet. I scrolled. Then we play the voice memos she sent me crying about Henry, so he hears how obsessed she actually is. Henry's head turned toward us from across the yard. She was already shaking her head. It's AI. She faked all of this. I scrolled to the last one. Hers. By Monday, she'll be the biggest joke in school. Henry deserves better than her stalker ass anyway. Her hand
Oh, hell no. Shout out to
dropped.
Mackenzie.
She lunged for my phone. I pushed her back by the shoulder and she stumbled half a step toward the water. Please, it was a joke. You saved every voice memo I sent you about him so you could play them at my own birthday party. She came at me again and I shoved her again, harder, and she was a foot from the edge now.
Oh,
You're
nah.
insane. You set this whole thing up. You set the projector up. You picked the pool. You invited the school. Her heel caught
Shout out
the
to
edge
Nova.
and she went in. She came up gasping with mascara running down her
What
face
the hell?
and a red Solo cup floating next to her. Henry walked over from the speakers,
Tun,
took off his
tun,
jacket and put it around my shoulders.
Stick
I
with
had
the
a crush
W,
on
Alfredo.
you too. I
There's
was
the
waiting for
island.
the right time to tell you. I closed the chat in my hand. Happy birthday to me. I walked into my own birthday party. It
I
was
guess,
my first
bro.
day in prison when a guard kicked me into my cell, then whispered,
Oh,
I'm
nah.
going to help you escape. I froze because why would a guard say that? But before I could react, he locked my cell and screamed loud
You're
enough
hiding
for
it.
everyone to hear, "You worthless piece of shat," and walked away.
Oh,
My
nah.
heart was pounding. What just happened? Then an inmate in the next cell looked at me through the bars. He's the meanest guard in this prison.
What?
He doesn't help anybody. I didn't know what to think because why would he help me escape? Or was he setting me up? Either way, it was a
Maybe.
chance I had to take. That night, I saw something slide under my cell door. I dropped down to pick it up. It was a cell key and a note. This is your
Oh,
cell
nah.
key. Tomorrow night, unlock your cell at 2 a.m.
2 a.m. and meet me in the courtyard.
Meet me in the courtyard. My hands were shaking.
Oh,
because I
nah.
still
Why is the police helping her in the first place, bro? She's literally a criminal. Shout out to Brian. Like, chat, are we serious right now, bro? What is happening?
didn't know if this was my way out or the worst mistake of my life. The next morning, the same guard shoved me in the hallway in front of everyone and pinned me to the wall. "Watch where you're going, bitch." He let go and
Yo.
walked away. Why was he treating me like garbage but helping me escape? Then that night, the alarms went off. Cell search. My heart sank to my knees. I was scared they would find it and give me a longer sentence. A guard unlocked my cell and checked under my pillow, then tore the entire place apart looking for something. But they didn't find anything. I had placed the key in my mouth. When they left, I waited until 2 a.m. knowing that even if it was a trap, it was my only chance to leave. I turned the key and my cell clicked open. Unsure what would happen, I stepped into the dark and walked toward the courtyard. In the courtyard, I saw the guard standing, waiting for me. He whispered, "Follow me." My heart was
Why? Okay, why is the police helping her though, chat? That does not make any sense.
pounding. We moved through the dark
I don't get
and
it.
led me to the back fence where a big hole had been cut open. I realized he really was trying to help me and quickly crawled through to the other side. I was finally free, but extremely confused. I turned back to the guard. "Why are you doing this?" His eyes started filling with tears. "Because I know you're innocent. They locked you up for a crime my brother committed. He framed you. I treated you like dirt so nobody would suspect anything. I couldn't live with myself knowing your life was ruined because of my family." But before I could respond, bright
What VTuber thingy site do I use? I use the poo-poo site. Ah.
flashlights hit us, and I heard the footsteps of the other guards rushing in our direction. He pointed to the forest behind me and screamed, "Run!" So I ran.
Shout
as
out
fast
to
as
the
I could
Galaxy
without
GD.
looking back, but I could still hear him getting slammed into the ground and the sound of handcuffs clicking shut. I wanted to turn around and help him, but then his
Guys,
efforts
subscribe right now if you want to shout out. I miss Oliver Tree.
would go
Yeah.
to waste, so I just kept running until I was far.
Give her
from
the
prison.
jamming gift. Aquilania. What the hell am I saying? Aquilania. Thank you.
And finally, a free man. I should have been
What the
happy,
fuck?
but how could I, when the man who helped me escape and gave me my freedom lost his? It was my During
Dang.
a holiday abroad, I walked into my hotel room and saw my daughter laughing on the bed with a woman I'd never seen. I froze, and the woman instantly turned to me and said, "I'm her real mom.
Shout out to
I'm here to take her back." I
Vanek.
knew I wasn't letting this crazy lady take my daughter, so I told her that was impossible because I gave birth to Lucy myself. But when I looked closer, I noticed the woman had the same almond-shaped eyes as Lucy. Lucy looked up and said, "Mommy, this lady knows about my pool floaty and my favorite stuffed bear." My eyes went wide because those were things Lucy had had for over a year now. I walked towards the room phone to call reception, but the woman stepped in front of me. I said, "We're taking her." That's when the closet door opened and a man stepped out. Lucy
Give her the
laughed and
hiding
said,
gift.
"He was hiding in here," and the man walked towards me. The woman told Lucy, "Sweetie, you're going to come with me now," and picked her up. I screamed, "They're kidnapping my child," as loud as I could, and the man shot his hand out and clamped my mouth. As he did,
Oh,
I noticed
nah.
a small birthmark on his hand that looked just like the one on Lucy's wrist. I realized I couldn't fight him off and just prayed someone would show up. I just screamed my child was getting kidnapped at the top of my lungs, but nobody did. The
Oh,
woman
nah.
carried my daughter out, and the man took out an envelope and dropped the table
Shout out to Cooper. Shout out to Robert Yeaper.
beside me. He then apologized and quickly took off running. He and the woman
Give her the hiding
sprinted
gift,
out with Lucy.
Spider-Man.
I instantly ran after them.
Give her the live. Let's go. I am E Boney Rose. WIME Boney Rose. Thank you. How do you make the thing where when you I'm not telling you, bro. I don't know. Thank you though for the live. Let's go. WIME Boney Rose. Thank
But
you.
by the time I reached reception, they were
to
already in a
Lillian.
taxi outside. I told the receptionist
Shout out to
these people had
Gio.
just stolen my child, but she shook her head because she didn't speak English. I cried and screamed for the manager, and after they finally understood what happened, Lucy was fully gone, nowhere to be seen. In the hotel room, I opened the envelope the man left behind him, and
Give her the gold
finally
coin.
understood everything when I saw the DNA papers.
Oh,
Lucy
nah.
was never my daughter. The hospital
Yo, that's insane.
swapped her
What?
at birth and gave her to me. They were the real parents. They'd already been watching Lucy for years.
That's
and right here, in a foreign
crazy,
country where
chat.
nobody would understand me, even if I screamed for help, was the perfect opportunity to take her back. During a holiday abroad,
Wow.
I was working as a bouncer at a
Give her the
nightclub
floating
when I saw
cart.
a drunk girl stumbling toward the exit alone. Before I could help her, the head bouncer Blake was already walking toward her. He put his arm around her shoulder and laughed creepily. He turned to the bouncers. "Don't worry, fellas.
Bro,
I'll make sure
what?
she gets home safe." My stomach turned.
No.
The other bouncers warned me that Blake targets girls who are intoxicated, but I'd never seen it until now. I knew I had to stop him, or else something bad would happen. Blake tried to walk away towards a dark alley, but I ran up to him. "Hey, I can get her an Uber. I have the Uber app pulled up already." Blake shoved me back with his shoulders. I said, "I got this. Do your job and mind your business before I fire you, little girl." I couldn't afford to lose my job because I'm broke, but I looked over at the girl, and she could barely stand. She leaned into Blake's arm just to stay upright, and I knew this was an extremely dangerous situation for her.
Shout out to
be in. I
Vincent.
tried to step closer to grab her and put her in a taxi, but my two coworkers blocked my path. Blake
Bro,
does this
are
every
we
week.
serious? Why are the coworkers, bro?
It's not your problem. Walk away. I walked away, but went straight to the manager's office. Blake is taking a drunk
That's a
girl
Colton.
somewhere and is acting extremely suspicious. You need to check on Blake. The manager didn't
Give her the
even look up.
sparkles.
You've been here 2 weeks and you're telling me how to run my club? You're fired. Get out. Nobody wanted to help her
Shout out
besides
to
me.
Valve
When I
Tora.
walked out, I turned around and Blake was further down the dark alley. They turned a corner and disappeared. I lost sight of her, but now that I was fired, I had nothing to lose. I ran down the alley.
Give her the
It was
hiding
dark.
gift,
Then I heard
Jade.
a loud, high-pitched scream. I turned the corner and saw two dark figures ahead, but couldn't make make out what was happening, but I knew it was extremely bad. My heart started pounding with adrenaline. When I got closer and saw what was going on, I froze because it wasn't what I expected at all. Blake was on the ground shaking. The girl was standing over Blake with a taser pointed at him.
nah.
She was completely sober. She reached into her jacket and pulled out a badge. Detective Reyes, don't move. She was an undercover cop sent to investigate him. Blake looked up at her in shock. 2 undercover cops came from both ends of the alley. They flipped Blake over and cuffed him. She looked at me. We've been investigating this club for months. Blake was our primary suspect. You're the only person who tried to stop this tonight. Everyone else in that club is getting charged. I got fired for doing the right thing, but I'm the only one not behind bars. I was working as a bouncer at a I asked my son if he wanted breakfast, and he replied, I don't know, then proceeded to type into ChatGPT, should I have breakfast right now?
ChatGPT, are we serious? That's important.
Yes, if you're hungry. And he typed in, how do I tell if I'm hungry? I stared in disbelief as Ethan read aloud, if there's a rumbling feeling in your stomach and your mouth is salivating, you
Chat, the only thing I use AI for is to get ideas. I would not ask it like if I should eat, bro.
Are hungry.
What?
He put his phone in his pocket and said, I'd like breakfast. I was frustrated and told him he needs to stop using AI and think for himself, but he typed something into it, then replied, but it says, why would I do that when I can have it do all the thinking?
Bro, what? Thank you for the jamming gift. Lily, Lily, aka Donna. Thank you, Lily, for the jamming gift. And thank you for the live disco. Y Lex P. WY like PvP with the live disco. Thank you. Y like PvP.
For me, it's less effort that way. I watched Ethan ask ChatGPT when he should stop eating and
My bad, chat, if you heard my fart, bro.
what shoes to wear for school. I knew I needed to do something because over the few weeks,
You were the hiding
Ethan
of Travis.
asked ChatGPT how to brush his teeth if he should go outside, and he even typed what's
Shout
4
out to
plus
Harry.
3 for his first grade math homework. When I saw him typing, what color is my favorite? I lost it and
You
asked,
were the
what
hiding
are you going
gifts.
to do if AI disappears? He shrugged and said, that will never happen. Also, it's purple. It told me my favorite color is purple. That night, I stayed awake, knowing I needed to act. And so, the next day, I told Ethan I was leaving
You're
for a
the
work
hiding
meeting.
gift, silly
I'll be back in
Lily.
30 minutes. I left food for you. Microwave it if you
You're
get
the
hungry.
flower
He waved at
Colton.
me and smiled. Bye, Mom. Then typed into ChatGPT, what should I do for 30
Thank
minutes?
you for the Sunday, Alfredo. W Alfredo with the Sunday. Thank you.
But I
Shout
didn't
out to
leave.
Lara.
I shut off the Wi-Fi router and quickly snuck upstairs without him realizing, watching him with a grin on my face. Ethan was reading his ChatGPT response when it suddenly cut out because the internet was gone.
Ha
I
ha.
watched Ethan stare at the no Wi-Fi sign for a full 5 minutes before realizing it wouldn't load.
5 minutes. They were
He
the hiding
said,
gift.
what does no Wi-Fi mean? And walked to the Wi-Fi box with a confused look on his face. He looked at the on switch that was set
That is not a Wi-Fi
off,
router.
but instead
What
of
the
flicking
hell?
it, grabbed the router with both hands, shaking it aggressively. I was in disbelief as I watched him eventually give up because he couldn't figure it out. He decided to just eat to pass the time, but when he went to ask AI how to use the microwave, it wouldn't respond. Ethan began crying as he realized his AI didn't work. He ate the food cold.
Are we
and I put
serious,
my hands
bro?
over my head in shock this was actually happening. When he went to play his PlayStation, he couldn't turn it on, and when he asked AI how to turn it on and it didn't load,
Bro needs AI to be smart. Are we serious? Bro can't even do it the simplest things. Shout out to Amanda. That is insane.
he completely crashed out. He cried and
nah.
screamed, pounding his fists on the floor. He asked AI how to call his mom, but it couldn't tell him. and he cried
What?
even harder.
Okay.
That's when I finally came downstairs. I asked why
That's
he's crying,
insane.
but he wouldn't even look at me, and through tears said, the world is broken, mommy. He gave me his ChatGPT with no Wi-Fi on it, and I told him, watch how it's done. I flicked the Wi-Fi switch, and suddenly his AI worked again. He stared in amazement. How did you do that, mommy? I smiled and showed him the Wi-Fi switch, and that's when I finally lied to him. I told him he had accidentally turned the Wi-Fi off himself. His face dropped in horror, and he asked how. I replied, it doesn't matter how. What matters is now
Bro is that dumb. Are we serious?
know why it's important to know how to do things yourself. You never know when AI won't be there to help you. He nodded his head, and the next morning when I asked him if
Holy.
he was hungry, he replied, yes. I asked my son if he wanted breakfast, and he replied, I was shopping at Lululemon when a man in an expensive
Lululemon.
suit tapped me on the shoulder.
Chad, what is Lululemon, bro?
I turned around, and he handed me an
Thank you for the
envelope.
live disco, Lily. W Lily with the live disco. Thank you, Lily. W Lily.
Inside was $30,000
Where's
in
W?
cash. You have 3
They
minutes
were the live disco again, Lily. W Lily. Thank
spend
you,
it all.
Lily.
If you don't spend all of it, you have to refund everything you buy, and I'm taking back the money. I had no idea what was happening. Is this some weird social experiment for a YouTube video? He didn't say anything, just pulled out his phone and showed me the timer. The clock starts now.
Bro's not Mr. Beast. They were to stay hydrated, Lily. W Lily with the stay hydrated. Thank you, Lily. W Lily. Lily, thank
You
you.
have 2 minutes and
W.
50 seconds left. I ran to the clothing racks and grabbed every defined jacket I could see.
This guy
and
is
shoved
not
them into
Mr.
my
Beast, though.
arms.
But
Purple,
thank you,
blue,
Lily.
Pink. I grabbed every pair of excess leggings they had, and when I was done,
Oh
I
my
dumped them all
gosh.
on the counter.
I'm gonna be honest, you do not need that much clothes. They were the hiding gifts. They were the uncler. Lily again. Yo, W Lily. Thank you, Lily, for the uncler. W Lily. W. Yo, he's dumb. 2 seconds later, what's Lululemon? No, actually, like, I don't know what that is. They were the live disco, Ronnie. W Ronnie with the
along
live
with a
disco.
stack
Thank
of
you,
bills.
Ronnie.
The whole thing was too
They were the live disco, Lily. W Lily. Oh my
good to be
gosh.
true,
W.
And I expected the cashier woman
For
to
the
say the
hiding
money
gifts.
was fake, but it wasn't fake, and she bagged everything up for me. I grabbed the bags, and the man nodded at me and showed me his timer. 2 minutes left to spend the rest of the money. I ran to the Foot Locker next door and pointed at an entire wall of Jordans. I waved down an employee. I'll take one of each. The shopping assistant just stared at me like I was crazy.
Oh, nah. Think of the sunshine, Lily. W Lily with the
Are
sunshine.
you
Thank
sure
you.
you can afford it? I didn't have time to
were
explain
the
to him
W.
what was going on, so I just handed him the $10,000 in cash and ran
What?
out, getting ready to run to the next store. As I ran into Nordstrom, I looked behind
They were
me
the
through
GG
window
Bob.
and saw the man in the suit, now sitting on a bench outside. He was leaning forward with his hand pressed against his heart. I
Is
only
bro okay?
had 20
You were the
seconds left to
MVP,
spend the
Lily. W Lily with the MVP.
rest
Thank
of the
you.
money. I ran over to beg him for more time to shop, but when I got there, he immediately collapsed on the floor. A crowd had gathered. A Cinnabon employee was on the phone screaming
hiding
for an
it.
ambulance.
They were 6'7",
I knelt
lovely
beside him.
karma.
His eyes opened halfway. Did you spend it all? Almost. 2,000 left. Did it make you happy? I didn't expect him to ask that, but I nodded. Suddenly, his eyes closed and he stopped breathing. I
Did
opened
bro
his
just
coat.
die? R.I.P. Mr. B. No, I'm joking. They were the GOAT trophy, Lily. W Lily with the GOAT trophy. Thank you, Lily. Lily is like the top gifter of the stream. Shout out to Isaiah. W Lily, bro. Thank you, Lily.
For
AKA
IV or
Donna.
anything that would help the
That's a Waylon.
paramedics. Behind his wallet was a folded letter. I
Thank
read
you,
it while the
Lily.
paramedics
W
tried to
Lily.
revive him. If you're reading this,
Thank you, Lily.
it means you were the one I gave money to before I died. I'm a millionaire, and I have no one in my life. I've had heart issues for the last 3 years, and the doctor told me this week would be my last. I spent my entire life chasing money. No friends, no family, no one to give the money to when I died.
Shout out
I
to
hope I made
Madison.
you happy. You can keep the money. The paramedics
Dang.
arrived. One after
Bro is not Mr. Beast, though. They were the live disco, Lily. W Lily with the live disco. Thank you, Lily.
asked if I was a family member. I shook my head no. He has no one. 2 weeks later, I gave the $2,000 to a men's crisis hotline. I asked them to name the line after him. He died with $80 million and no one to call. Now his name is the phone number that picks up and helps men when no one else will. I was shopping at Lululemon when a man in
W.
an expensive suit. I was at a fancy restaurant with a boy I was looking after when a stranger walked up to our table and said, "Teach your kid some manners. He's eating like an animal." The boy was
Oh, nah.
slurping spaghetti noodles with both hands, going ham and licking his fingers. But he wasn't hurting anyone, and I was sick of people telling us what to do when they didn't know the full story. "He's fine. Leave us alone." The man shook his head. "I'm just saying, teach your kid how to eat properly. It's nasty."
You were
The boy
hiding
didn't
of
even notice.
Tyrant.
He was too happy eating. I smiled and hoped that the rest of the meal would go smoothly. But suddenly, the stranger waved down a waiter. "Can you do something about this kid? It's very unsanitary." I couldn't believe it. I knew he was eating messy, but he didn't deserve this. The waiter walked over to our table. "Ma'am, can you have him use utensils, please? Can you just let him eat? He's not bothering anyone." The
I mean,
stranger
yeah, that is true.
cut
He's
in.
not.
It's bothering me and ruining my evening. Who eats noodles with their hands?
Bro,
He's getting
what?
tomato sauce
They were the
all
hiding
over the
of Alex.
tablecloth. It's disgusting. I literally didn't care about whatever they had to say. You don't know what this kid has been through. I don't care what he went through. The waiter placed a fork and knife in front of the boy. He stopped eating and stared at them. "Use these." He picked up the fork and dropped it.
They were
on
the clapping seal. Naomi. Naomi with the clapping seal. Sorry if I said your name wrong, but
My
thank
heart
you.
broke because none of this was his fault.
You're
The
hiding
stranger
gifts.
said, "Waiter, can you help him since she won't?" The waiter nodded. The waiter picked up the fork, grabbed his hand, and tried to poke the spaghetti with it. I was shocked. I yelled, "Can you leave him
Guys,
alone?"
subscribe right now if you want a shout
The
out.
boy threw the fork and knocked his plate off the table. He started crying, curled up in his chair, and buried
Oh,
his face
nah.
in his knees. My heart broke as I went to hold him. The whole room was staring at us.
Thank you for the 40 stars. W Lily.
I couldn't
Thank
take it
you.
anymore. I stood up. This is his first real meal ever. He's a refugee. He's never used a fork in his life because he's never had a meal like this. The restaurant went dead silent, and the kitchen door swung open. The chef heard the commotion and walked out. He heard everything I said, and I thought he was about to kick
That's
us
a
out.
little
But then he
Jim
said,
Bob.
"Who has a problem with this boy eating?" The stranger raised his hand. The chef pointed at the door. "Get out of my restaurant." Then the chef grabbed 2 plates of spaghetti from the kitchen and sat
That's a
down next to
Lincoln.
the boy. It was so wholesome that I had to take a picture of it. A plate for him and the boy. The chef rolled up
W.
his sleeves and used his hands to eat the noodles. The boy looked up, laughed, and started eating again.
Okay, why does bro have black noodles?
I was at a
in his meal.
My favorite teacher gave me the keys to her house.
Oh.
My favorite teacher gave me the keys to
You
her
were the
house.
gold coin,
Ms.
John
Rafter
Zilla.
asked me to stay back after math one Friday, then pulled out a sheet of paper
Guys, subscribe right now if you want a
with an
shout out.
address on it, as well as a house key. Don't tell anyone. You'll know when to use it. My stomach dropped, and I walked around school for the rest of the day, staring at the key with a terrible dread in my gut. I barely slept the entire weekend, thinking if I should just tell someone. But when Monday came, Ms. Rafter wasn't in school. My heart stopped. She wasn't in Tuesday either. And by Friday, Ms.
Thank you for the live. Let's go, Lily and Joe. Lily and Joe with the live. Let's go. Thank you both. They were 6-7 I like dogs. Thank you
had
though.
missed the whole week and was officially announced a missing person. Everyone at school whispered about what could have happened to Ms. Rafter, while I looked at the key to her home in my hands, shaking because I had the answer right here. My legs trembled as I thought back to her words. You'll know when to use it. I realized she knew she'd go missing, and she wanted me to find out why. After school, I typed in the address she gave me with trembling hands and made my way to her house. The windows were boarded up, and I stood outside for 10 minutes, trying to work the courage to put the key in. I was terrified. Eventually, I put the key in and turned the handle, and it worked. I was inside. I walked through the house slowly, and the only
You were
sound I
hiding
heard
it.
was my own terrified heartbeat. I expected bodies, blood, but all I saw was a clean kitchen, a framed photo of Ms. Rafter, and a clock still ticking. I kept walking, but then my jaw dropped. A computer was turned on. The monitor was dark, but I could hear the old PC crackling and running. I'd searched the whole house, and this was the only thing out of the ordinary. Whatever this was the answer. I sat at the computer, sweat
Shout out
dripping
to
down
Cooper.
my forehead and my hands shaking. I flicked the monitor on, and it loaded
Do you
slowly,
do
its
Twitch?
wheels
Nah.
turning. When the screen flashed, I
Shout
saw
out to
two
Darian.
windows open. The first was Ms. Rafter's personal information,
Oh,
filled in on
nah.
a one-way ticket to Bolivia. The departure
Is that like did she? What the hell?
date was last Friday. The second window was a spin the wheel program with every student's name from my math class. The arrow had stopped on me. I was still shaking and confused until I saw the sticky note in Ms. Rafter's handwriting. The wheel decided my house is yours. Take care of it.
Whole house? Yo, holy voice crack. I just had a voice crack. Chat, did you hear that? Wait. I might have to rewind the stream. Yo, did you guys hear that? Did I just have a voice crack? Shout out to Calvin. Whole house? Like, bro. What?
I stood there in shock, looking at the key. Ms. Rafter had upended her life and left for Bolivia, and spun the wheel to see who'd win her house. It was me. Her house was mine now. My favorite teacher gave me the keys to her
Okay.
house. Let's go
That's a Lego
swim
man.
in the sea. My dad grabbed me and started walking towards the waves. I told him I didn't know how to swim.
You were
but he
hiding in
ignored me
Boston.
and dragged me out almost half a mile from the coast. I was terrified, but he laughed and said, "See, everything is fine." But then I looked down and saw dozens of fins circling in the water around us. I instantly went pale. "Daddy, it's sharks." And his face dropped in horror as he quickly scrambled to put me on his back. But when he went to swim away, the
You were
sharks
6'7",
closed in around
Austin.
us, not letting us leave. I started crying. "Why did you bring us here, Daddy?" And he just grit his teeth and trying to swim away. But the sharks kept closing in. No matter how much he tried, they blocked him and wouldn't let him leave. We were now completely closed in. They were inches away from us. We had failed to get away. I thought we were going to die, and when I looked down, I saw a shark directly underneath us. It was coming
You were a
straight
flower,
up, aiming at
Austin.
our legs. I screamed, "Ah!" and hugged my dad. He told me, "I'm sorry," through his tears. I felt the shark hit my leg, and I braced for the bite. But then suddenly, me and my dad were on its back, and when I looked down, I realized it was
That's a
actually
cool
a
dude.
dolphin. I wiped my
A
tears and
dolphin? What the hell?
every fin
That's
around
a
us
Bryce.
was a dolphin. Me and Dad began swimming to shore on the dolphin's back, and when I looked in the spot that me and Dad were just swimming in, I saw a huge, hungry-looking shark below. I realized these dolphins had surrounded us to
Guys, like up the stream and subscribe if you guys want a shout out. And feel free to send gifts like Laughing Discos. Too, guys.
protect us from that shark, and had we got away from them like we tried, the shark would have killed us. "Let's go swim in the sea," my dad
That's
grabbed.
crazy.
"Mom, you scare me when you're sleepwalking," my son said, putting his hands together at the foot of my bed. "Please lock your room tonight." His lip trembled, and I promised him I would. I took my medication and locked my bedroom door, telling my husband I felt like a terrible mother. But at 3 a.m., I woke up sweating, startled from a nightmare. Suddenly, my son screamed from down the hallway. I jumped out of bed while my husband stayed asleep beside me and grabbed his golf club. I unlocked my door and bolted to
nah.
my son's room, where a dark figure was leaning over my son's bed. I swung the golf club, and it cracked over the man's head.
Oh, nah.
He dropped to the floor, and I ran to my son, crying and telling him it was okay. But he screamed and pushed me away, cowering from me in fear. I was
What?
confused, but then I looked down at
Shout
the
out to
floor and
Dolly.
saw my
Shout out to
husband
Russell.
bleeding from his head with
Oh,
blood
nah. That was
all
the
over my golf
dad?
club. I suddenly jolted awake, and my
Bro.
son trembled. "Why are you sleepwalking again, Mommy? You promised me you'd lock
Are
your
we
door. Go
serious?
back to bed so I can sleep, please." I
You're
went
hiding
pale
if KJ
and stumbled
Quinn.
back to bed with shaking legs, holding the club. I had just killed my husband. But
Okay,
when I
why would you go back to
my
bed?
bedroom door, I noticed my golf club no longer had blood on it, and my husband was now smiling right there, fully alive.
What? What the hell? Puno ultra microscopic
live without
You
any
didn't
wounds
say
on
right.
his head. I didn't know what to think, but then he took the golf club from me
Shout out
and
to
said,
Caden.
"You just went into our son's
Shout
room
out
with
to
a golf
Jay.
club and tried to hit the air. Let me help you." He smiled a sick smile, then took out the bottle of my medication and put a
Oh,
pill in
nah.
my mouth. The world went black. "Mom, you scare me when you're sleepwalking."
You lied
my
and
son-
gifts.
My husband called it the 1,000-mile rule. I called it grounds for divorce. He kissed me before his business trip across the country. When
Thank you for the laughing disco. Me ice cream. Me ice cream with the laughing disco. Thank you, me ice cream.
get back,
W.
we should talk about starting a family. While he was away, I baby-proofed the entire house.
Shout
I
out
locked
to
every
Adam.
cabinet, covered every
When are we getting other types of streams, bro? Soon.
outlet, and patted every corner.
Trust
until
the
there wasn't a sharp edge
process.
left. At
Trust.
night, I'd scroll through baby names until I fell asleep.
Trust
when his
me.
car pulled into the driveway, I ran outside and pulled him through the front door. I walked him through the whole house. He nodded his way through
Shout out to
every
Jude.
room, kissed me, and said it looked great. That night on the couch, he pulled out his phone. "You have to see the pictures from my trip." He scrolled through, showing me mountains.
They were the
sunrise,
Sunday
and then a
Corey.
photo of a
W
woman I'd
Corey
never
with the
seen. Who was
Sunday.
she? He laughed. "Just a coworker. Relax." After he
They were the
fell
gold
asleep,
coin.
his phone buzzed on the nightstand. Her name on
They were the
screen,
Sunday
and pictures
again, Corey. W Corey.
she
Thank
was
you, bro.
everywhere. Photos of them at dinners, at bars, in a hotel room, and a video of the two of them popping champagne. I slapped him awake and held his phone up to his face. He looked at the screen.
Oh, nah. They were the sunshine. Corey. W Corey once again. Thank you, Corey. W,
looked at
bro.
me and sighed
Thank
like I
you.
was the one being unreasonable. He smiled.
W,
Ever heard of the
Corey.
1,000-mile rule? If you're more than 1,000
W.
miles from home, it doesn't count. I looked at him. "You cheated on me, and you think distance makes it okay?" He shrugged. I kicked him out that night. By morning, I looked up the distance to the nearest divorce lawyer. Well under 1,000 miles. My husband called it the one. My boyfriend signed, "My family knows you're deaf, but don't tell
They
them
were
you
the
can
hiding
read
gift,
lips.
Corey.
I want them to learn sign language for you." When we first walked in, everything was perfect. Jackson's sister Tanya signed, "Welcome to the family," and hugged me. There were sign language charts covering the walls, and for the first hour, I felt right at
They were the
home.
hiding
Until
gift,
Jackson
Mellow.
said, "The bakery just texted that the
Talia.
cake is ready. I'll be back in an hour." Because the second he left, every hand that was signing went still. His sister crouched to my eye level and mouthed each word like I was 5. "Do you want some casserole?" I was about to tell her I could read lips, but that's when she turned to Jackson's aunt. She can't even respond. It's like having another toddler in the house. And she wants to be a mom? I decided to stay silent to let them reveal who they were when Jackson wasn't.
They were the jamming gift. Me ice cream. W me ice cream with the jamming gift. Thank you, bro. W me ice
Through the
cream.
patio door
Thank you, dude.
reflection, I caught his aunt leaning in. I always wish he ended up with a normal girl from college instead of that little project girl. At least the ex who cheated on him could actually hold a conversation. She found Jackson's mom by the drinks and kept going. He's going to spend his whole life being her translator and raising the kids by himself. That's not a marriage, that's a job. His mom, who
You're
had
hiding
insisted
it.
on giving me homemade tea earlier, was now rolling her eyes. At least her parents are rich. Hopefully he can get paid for his labor with the will when they die. I just hope that's sooner rather than later, Tanya continued. They better be using protection in bed. If she ever gets pregnant, I'm calling CPS on day 1. People like her love to baby trap good men. Seen it 100 times. She was so busy making fun of me with Jackson's mom that she didn't even see her own 4-year-old walk away. When she saw me looking,
Oh,
she
nah.
fake smiled and signed, "I've been telling everyone about you. We just love you so much." And a minute later, her daughter stumbled back through the door, clutching her throat, and everyone rushed in.
They were
Tanya
hiding
grabbed
it.
her face. "What happened?
Deal.
What's wrong, baby?" Jade's mouth was moving, but her voice was gone. Just lips, no sound. As everyone screamed and panicked, I knelt down and watched her mouth. I had a headache. I took the medicine in mommy's purse, the orange bottle. I stood up and called the paramedics while looking directly at Tanya. "She took pills from an orange bottle in your purse." The paramedics arrived at the same time as Jackson, who was holding the cake. We all listened as they said, "You made the right call by calling us." She was 10 minutes away from her organs shutting down. Tanya
hiding
grabbed
it
my arm.
fast,
"How did
Astrid.
you know what she said?" None of us could hear her. I've been reading lips all afternoon. I looked at Tanya's lips, but there was
Thank you for
almost
the dollar,
nothing.
Gubby. W Gubby with the dollar. Thank you, Gubby.
I didn't
W.
know. I mean, you should have told us. Jackson was about to speak, but when I pulled him aside to tell him what happened, he was furious. "You said you'd call CPS on her?" His mother started crying. We're so sorry." Jackson took the sign language charts off the wall, rolled them up, and handed them to Tanya. "Your apologies mean nothing. You don't get to pretend anymore. None of you do." When we got home, he put the charts on our wall, the same ones his family had up. "I'll find people who deserve to learn for you." My boyfriend's son. My best friend asks me, "Did you hear about your brother?" I replied, "My brother's dead." Kyla froze in her seat,
They were
hands
lying if-
trembling as she pressed them to her gaping mouth. Tears filled her
Again,
eyes. "I'm
Astrid.
so sorry," she whispered. I stared at her in shock. "He's been dead for 10 years. She was at his funeral with me. We buried an empty
Oh,
casket
nah.
because no one could find his body in the fire that burned our house down." "What are you talking about?" I asked slowly. She shook her head frantically. "Nothing. I misspoke. That's all," she said quickly. "Tell me," I insisted. "Ask your parents," she answered. "I have to go." She ran out of the diner as if her skirt was on fire. I arrived home and found my parents in the kitchen. Mom was humming
Shout out to
and baking
Fishing
cookies
Brother.
while Dad sat at the kitchen table reading on his tablet. They both ignored me until I cleared my throat loudly. What happened to my brother? I asked quietly, watching them closely. I noticed that Mom instantly paled and Dad's expression closed off, becoming colder. Mom turned her back on me, returning to her task at the stove. Dad just stared at me, eyes going blank as he got lost in thought. Kyla mentioned something at lunch today. I continued. Tell me the truth. Is he really
Oh,
dead?
nah.
Mom laughed without turning to face me. Of course he
Thank
is,
you for the
honey, she
jamming
said.
gift. Me ice cream. W me ice cream with the jamming gift. Thank you, bro.
The tone of her voice
W.
was off, almost robotic.
Appreciate
I
it.
glanced at Dad, noticing how he ducked his head, avoiding eye contact with me. I slammed my fist down on the kitchen table, startling them. Tell me the truth, I shouted. Mom finally spun around to face me, tears dripping down her ghostly white cheeks. I am, she said coldly, glaring at me. He's dead to us. A
Shout out
sob
to
escaped
Kelly.
and my hands started to shake at my sides. He's alive? I whispered. Leave it alone, Dad said sternly. He died in that fire and that's the end of it. Then he turned back to his tablet as if he didn't just rock my entire world. My twin brother was alive. He never died in that fire. We had a funeral for no reason. I was furious. My hands balled into fists and I took a step forward. Tell me what happened, I ordered calmly.
Thank you for the
Mom
live
sighed.
at disco, Elliot Lover. W Elliot Lover with the live at disco. Thank you, Elliot Lover. W, bro. Give her the jamming gift, E-Step Media. W E-Step Media with the jamming gift. Thank you, E-Step Media.
He was the
W.
one who started the fire, she said firmly. He almost killed us, so we sent him away to boarding school. I could hardly breathe with this new information. My brother was alive, and I swore then that I wasn't going to abandon him like our parents did. My best friend asks me, did you hear about your brother? My toddler saw a bride taking photos at the park and screamed, don't do it. The bride stopped mid-pose. Her photographer looked confused, and 30 wedding guests turned to stare at my 3-year-old daughter, Emily. I was mortified because Emily had the worst habit of blurting things out at the worst moments. Emily, honey, let's go play on the slide.
Thank you for the jamming gift, Abigail. W Abigail with the jamming gift. And thank you for the Uncler, Elliot Lover. W Elliot Lover with the Uncler. Thank you, Elliot Lover. W. Shout out to Dorian Gamer.
But she broke free from my grip and marched right up to the bride.
Guys, subscribe right now if you want a shout out. Let's hit 156K. But W Elliot with the Uncler and Abigail.
Sweetie, don't marry the mean man, Emily said, pointing directly at the groom. He's going to hurt you. The groom's face went red and he stomped toward us. Hey, what kind of kid says something like that? I started apologizing, but then the bride knelt down. Sweetie, why do you think he's mean? Emily pointed at a bruise
Shout out to
peeking from
Courtney.
under the bride's dress sleeve. My mommy had marks like that when the bad man
Shout out
lived
to
with us.
Fortnite
She
Sweat.
cried at night too, and you smell like tears under your makeup. My eyes went wide because
Thank
I
you for
had
the
no
live disco, Dom. W Dom with the live disco. Thank you, Dom. W Dom, bro.
idea she knew my ex had hurt me. The bride looked down at her wrist,
W
as if
Dom.
making a decision. Then she stood up and looked at the groom. I don't want to marry you anymore. No, you're not dumping me because some random kid made stuff up.
Shout out
the
to
groom
Joshua.
said. I'm dumping you because you hurt me. The bride yanked her sleeve back and held her bruised wrist up to the crowd. People gasped and pulled out their phones. I tried to cancel yesterday, and he told me I'd regret it. He said no one would ever want me if I left. The groom realized he was cornered and completely lost it. Yeah, I said it. She was being dramatic over one fight.
Shout out
and
to
trying
Kid
call off
Plays.
The whole wedding. The
Shout out to
bride's dad stepped
Project
forward and said,
Shadowy.
Get out now before I call the police. The groom stormed off angrily. Then the bride knelt back down in front of Emily. Thank you. You saved me from making a big mistake.
You were the hiding
Emily
of
patted the
Abigail.
bride's head. You're gonna be okay. Then she grabbed my wrists and held them up to the bride. Look, mommy's marks are all gone now. Yours will be too. My toddler saw a bride
W.
The second they wheeled me into
That's
the
a
room
wacky
after my
duck.
emergency C-section, my husband walked over, looked at our daughter in my arms for about
Thank
3
you for the live disco, Flints. W Flints with the live disco. Thank you, Flints.
seconds and went
Shout out to oh wait, 3 more subs. W Flints, so 2 more subs. 156K. Let's go. Let's go. W 156K in the chat. We hit it, bro. W's. What a W, bro. That's actually insane. W's. They were the
to
star.
his chair and opened
They were
a
the
mobile
W,
game.
the Chicken
I had
Mafia.
almost died
Thank
2
you,
hours
guys.
earlier, and I was struggling to hold our daughter with a fresh
Shout out to
incision
Brawler.
across my stomach. But he just sat across
Let's
the room,
go, bro.
cursing at his phone screen. My nurse
You were the
Austin
clutch,
walked in
Elliot
with ice
Lover.
chips and stopped when he saw me stretching across the bed rail, trying to reach my tray with the baby in my arms. He set the ice chips down and held out his hands. Here, let me take her so you can eat. I practically shoved her into his arms because my incision felt like it was tearing every
Oh,
time
nah.
I breathed, and I was starving. Austin swayed gently with her, humming something
You were the
soft,
W,
and I
Dom.
realized I was staring because my husband hadn't even held her yet. I started crying without meaning to, and Austin grabbed tissues and wiped my face because my hands were full. I can't believe you almost died and he's playing some stupid game, he said
You're the happy
quietly.
poo.
My husband shouted at his screen from across the room, and the
Bro,
baby
what?
woke up screaming. He looked annoyed. Your daughter is crying, Austin said flatly. My husband didn't look up. She'll stop in a minute. I felt something break inside my chest. Austin stared at my husband. You know what kills me about this job? Sometimes I have to watch men mistreat their wives. I always think if that was my wife, I'd be holding her hand every second, not playing on my phone phone like some teenager whose mom dragged him to visit his sick grandma. My husband
Damn.
shot up so fast his phone hit the floor. Who the hell do you think you are? Austin shrugged. Someone who actually knows when your baby last ate. He set our daughter down gently and walked out. My husband yelled, I'm going to have him fired. I stared
That's
at him.
cap.
What's our daughter's name? He laughed nervously. Obviously it's... Then there was silence.
Bro
He didn't
doesn't
hear the
even
answer.
know
His
his
hand reached for
own
his phone like
daughter's
the answer
name.
might be there.
That's insane, chat.
The second they wheeled me into the room, I was
Holy.
holding the balloon at my own gender reveal when a woman in heels kicked the back gate open and screamed my fiance's name across the yard. 60 people turned to watch her walk through them with her hand on her stomach, past the cake table I'd been decorating since 7 that morning. She stopped 6 feet from me and held her phone up like a weapon. I'm pregnant with his baby, and I have 6 months of screenshots to prove it. End this engagement tonight, or
Think of
every
the
one
hiding
these
of
goes to his
Giovanni.
boss before the cake gets cut. My fiance set his cup down and stepped up beside me. She's faking everything. Her thumb was hovering over the screen, and every second she stood in my yard was another second of my gender reveal that wasn't mine. I turned to her with the balloon ribbon tightening around my wrist. Show me the ultrasound and I'll end it tonight. She crossed her arms over her stomach. I'm not your circus monkey. My fiance's voice
You were
came
the
out
star.
flat from beside me. Then show us the screenshots. ChatGPT
Name a car for edit. I don't know. BMW maybe. I don't
could
know.
have written better ones. Her thumb came off the screen and her mouth opened and closed without a sound. My mom stepped up on my other side. Honey, she didn't bring the ultrasound. She doesn't have one. She lunged for me, and my fiance
Shout
caught
out to
her wrist
emo
just
girl.
as 2 officers walked through the open gate, a guest near the back calling out behind them. I called them 5 minutes ago. They took an arm each, and she planted her heels in the grass. I am pregnant. My cousin jumped up from a folding chair and pointed at her phone. I just pulled up her Instagram. She posted a story yesterday drinking tequila. The taller officer sighed as he pulled her toward the gate. Ma'am, you're not pregnant. You're just
Feel free to send gifts like laughing discos, bro.
fat. The yard
Alright.
gasped and then
Shout out to
exploded.
Samantha.
The officers walked her out
Shout
through
to
the same
Jesse,
gate
you know.
she'd kicked open, and my dad closed it behind them. My fiance slid his hand into mine, and I popped the balloon over our heads, exactly where I was supposed to be 10 minutes ago. It's a boy. I was holding the balloon at my own gender. My daughter's teacher called me, and I heard her scream, "Why did you let her bring a knife to school?" She
What?
My phone was shaking in my hand. Bella threatened 3 boys with a knife at school today? How
What?
could you let your
Shout out
daughter
to
do
Kim.
this? I couldn't believe what I was hearing. How could Bella do this? A knife?
Shout out
As
to
soon as I
emo
got
girl.
there, I saw her teacher and principal waiting for me. Ma'am, get inside now. This is extremely serious. We walked inside, and the
Oh
principal
nah.
told me, Bella
Why
cornered
is bro bald, chat? What the hell? Shout out to
there are
Callie.
3 boys in the bathroom with a large knife. Their parents are here, and they're considering filing assault charges against you and Bella. He wasn't joking. We walked into the office, and I saw the 3 boys and their mothers. Hey, your psycho daughter could have killed someone, but I just wanted to get to my kids. Then I saw them, both Bella and my son Toby, crying. I immediately noticed the blood
Oh,
on
nah.
Toby's shirt, but they kept yelling, "What kind of a mother are you?" But I knew something
They
was
were
wrong.
laughing disco JoJo's page. W JoJo's page was it laughing disco. Thank you JoJo's page. W bro, thank you.
Said, "What happened to Toby?" But she just kept
Thank you,
going.
dude.
Hey, your ratchet daughter could have killed my son. Do you realize that? But then Bella spoke up. She was crying, but said, "Mom, I had to protect Toby. Gabe said they were going to hurt him really bad today." Gabe and his friends avoided eye contact. I asked, "What did they say?" Bella was nervous, but said, "They made fun of me, and Gabe told me they were going to hurt Toby. They said they were going to corner him in the bathroom and put him
They were laughing disco B pop. W B pop with the laughing disco. Thank you B
out
pop.
of his misery." I was shocked.
Appreciate
Toby's
it.
been getting bullied by these kids. Gabe's mom started yelling, "That little liar has no
Where's
idea what
W?
she's talking about. She should be expelled. It's not like you can afford this school anyways." I saw the principal looking concerned now, like he didn't know who to believe. He kneeled down to Bella. "How did Toby get blood on his shirt?" "I took the knife from the sink this morning just in case, and when I went to the bathroom at lunch, they were all punching him."
They were
We
hiding
both
of
gasped,
James.
but Gabe's mom yelled, "She's lying. My son would never hurt anyone. Shut that little
Bro.
liar up or I'll do it myself." But without
Are
saying
you
a word,
serious?
I just walked over to Toby and gently lifted his shirt for everyone to see. Gabe's mom was walking over, but when she saw him, she froze. Toby's body was completely covered in bruises. Everyone was frozen.
Oh,
and I took out
nah.
my phone to call the police. I dialed 911, but right
What's
before I
good,
pressed
foolish? How's it going, bro?
call, she grabbed my arm. "Hey, don't you dare. I'll sue you." She wouldn't let go, fighting and dragging me to the ground to
Thank
stop
you for
me.
the jamming gift, Biker Jamie. W Biker Jamie with the jamming gift. Thank you. Such a chan demand. W Biker Jamie.
Dropped my phone, shouting, "Let go of me." But just as she put her hands on my neck, the principal shoved her off of me. I grabbed my phone, pressing the call button, knowing the police would be on their way. And I found out that not only did they end up pulling their kids from the school, but Gabe got
You
put
were
up
hiding
for
this.
adoption. My daughter's teacher called me, and I heard
All right. We're gonna watch a few more shorts. They were hiding if Kim, and then I gotta end stream, guys. I gotta go.
I spent 11 years not throwing a punch. My son's split
Give it that
lip
and give
ended that
James.
streak. I fought competitively in my 20s to learn how to control my anger, and after that, I walked
Damn.
away from everything. Not when my landlord knocked on my door
Give
and
it that
told
and
me
give
to be
James.
grateful I had a place to live. Not when my boss took credit for my work in front of
Thank
the
you
whole
for the
office.
high five, biker.
Not when
W
a man
biker.
followed me to my car at midnight, and I had every
Thank you,
reason
biker.
and the ability to make him regret it. People called me calm, controlled, composed, but my son is the one thing in my life I am not composed about. He's 13.
Give
He
her the hiding
came home on a
gifts.
Friday, and I heard the door before I saw him. And when I walked into the kitchen, he was already at the table with a split lip and dried blood on his collar.
nah.
What happened? He looked down and didn't answer right away. Some kids cornered me on the way home. Which kids? He shook his head. It doesn't
nah.
matter. I sat down across from him. Which kids?
It does matter. Oh, hell nah. What the hell?
He told me they were older kids
were
from
stars.
the neighborhood just because. He asked me not to. I told him to sleep, got him cleaned up and into bed, and after he fell asleep, I sat in the
They were to
kitchen
6'7"
alone, and 11
Catalina.
years of not throwing a punch went very quiet. I had a name and address by the next morning, then drove over with both hands on the wheel.
Oh,
not
nah.
shaking, steady. He answered the door.
Thank you for the turn it up. Jat B. Yeah, I use OBS. W Jat B with the turn it up. Thank you, Jat B. For the turn it up. W Jat B, bro. Thank you so much. W Jat
a
B.
white t-shirt with a beer
Thank
in
you,
his hand
dude.
and looked at me like he was already
W
bored.
Jat
I
B.
told him my name. Your son cornered mine after school and put his hands on him. He took a sip. Boys will be boys. Kids fight. He'll be fine. My son is 13 and he didn't start it. He leaned against the doorframe and shrugged. So he looked me up and down the way certain men do when they have already decided who you are, and something settled in his face. Sweetheart. He said it like it meant something. Why don't you go back to the kitchen and let the men handle this?
Oh,
He turned
nah.
and started to pull the door closed.
think we're the
door was
25
still moving
stars
when my
judges
knuckles
page.
connected clean.
W.
He went down on his porch and didn't get
Oh my
back up. I
gosh.
didn't say a word. Walked to my car and drove home. He never pressed charges. Last I heard, he told people he slipped. People still call me composed. They're right.
Give her that
I
and
am.
give
They just know
Ariana.
better now. I spent 11 years.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, subscribe right now if you want a shout out. I'm reminding you guys again because I'm ending stream in 9 more minutes. So this is your last chance,
I
everybody.
came home to find my stepmother Mary holding the old phone I kept hidden on the top shelf of my closet. She looked at my horrified face and smiled. Yeah, that's right. I found the phone you were hiding from me. So what are you hiding from me on this phone? I knew I couldn't tell her the truth.
Shout
Nothing
out to
bad, just
Amber.
please give it
Shout
back.
out to Michael. Shout out to Owen. Shout out to Nathan. Shout out to Jake. Everybody, come on, hit that subscribe button before I end stream. This is your last chance. This is urgent. This is serious. Shout out to Jaden if you want to shout out.
She smirked.
This
If
is
it's
serious.
nothing bad, then you have nothing to worry about. She
You're
tried
lying.
unlocking the phone again by guessing the password, and I started to get really paranoid because after 5 wrong attempts, the phone would delete everything on it, and she was on attempt 3. I tried to grab it, and she turned away from me, holding it out of my reach. You're going to erase everything. Please just let me
You were
unlock
floating
it for
cars,
you.
Sarah.
Tell me the passcode. I couldn't tell her the passcode because then she would find out what I was hiding from her. I'll unlock it for you. Just give it to me. She entered another wrong attempt, and I knew I had to tell her the truth of what I was hiding before she deleted everything. Please, I have voicemails from my dead mom on that phone. She left them before she died, and I never deleted them. And that's the only place they exist. So please, just
You
give
were
it
the
to me.
jamming
She
gift, Robert. W. Robert of the jamming gift. And thank you for the Sunday Jat. W. Jat and Robert. Thank you both.
paused
W.
and looked at me, and she looked extremely angry. It's time to move on. You have a new mother now. She put in one more password attempt. The screen went
Thank
black
you
and then
both.
showed the
W.
icon that meant it
You were
was
6'7",
deleting
Robert.
everything. I sat down on the kitchen floor and cried while Mary stood there staring at me. That was the only place my mom's voice still existed, and you just deleted it because you thought I was hiding something. Mary opened her mouth, but nothing came out. I looked back at the floor.
You were the
I
hiding
wasn't
gift,
hiding
Robert.
anything. I was just trying to keep my mom. Then the front door opened. Dad walked in and saw me on the floor.
Oh,
What
nah.
happened? She deleted mom's voicemails. Dad froze. I didn't know what was on. Yes, she did. I
Shout out to
told her
Roberto.
what was on it. Dad walked across the kitchen and sat down on the floor next to me. Those were mine too. Mary stood there alone. I moved my queen and looked up at my history teacher. Checkmate. You lose. Who's
Why is she playing chess with her history teacher? What the hell?
next? The principal stood
Shout out
up
to
from across
Penny.
the cafeteria, walked over, and sat down across from me. Everyone's been too busy watching you play chess, so if I beat you, the chessboard goes away for good. I put my hand out. If I win, I keep playing here. He shook my hand, and I set up the pieces
Shout out
while
to
half the
Charles.
cafeteria gathered around us. The chessboard was my grandpa's, and I wasn't going to lose it. I touched my king's pawn the way grandpa taught me and pushed it forward. 11 moves later. Checkmate.
Shout out to-
The principal
oh,
stared
no.
at the chessboard, fixed his tie, and walked off without a word. The math teacher slid into his seat. I was state ranked in college. Reset the pieces. 16 moves later. Checkmate. He shook his head like he was trying to wake up. What grade did you say you were in? The chess club coach took his place at the
Third grade. Hello.
chessboard and played slow, studying
Get
every
out.
move. 22 minutes later.
You were the
checkmate.
clutch
By then,
Jad.
Then there was a real crowd,
Yeah.
kids filming and teachers leaning in. The principal came back with a substitute teacher. He's our best chess player. Sit down. The substitute didn't sit. He studied the chessboard for a long minute. Whoever
Tung. 5 more subs, chat. Let's hit our next sub
thought you
goal.
wasn't messing around. He ran his thumb over the worn corner where Grandpa's hand used to rest, then flipped the chessboard over, carved into
Leave
the
the
back
hiding of my pitbull Oreo. Yo, Gorilla Bros, can you stop spamming, please?
Kowalski. His face changed.
It's
Was
not
your grandfather Sensei Kowalski?
good to spam,
I nodded.
bro.
He stepped back, pressed his palms together, and bowed until his forehead almost touched the chessboard. He was my sensei. He beat me and made me swear to be his disciple for life. The cafeteria went silent, and he stayed bowed. I greet Master's family. I touched my king's
Yo, KVR, just don't time out for too long, bro. Shout out to Wyatt. Shout out to MG.
pawn, the way Grandpa taught me, and twirled in my chair. Your move, disciple. I moved my queen and looked up at my history. I was drunk in an Uber when I
Oh,
heard
nah.
my driver say on the phone in Russian, yeah, the body is in the trunk. I understood
Oh,
every
hell
word
nah. What?
because I learned Russian from my Russian boy.
Oh, it was 10 seconds? Okay, I'm sorry, KVR. It's just that. Some of my mods, bro. They were the jamming gift. Zari. Zari Fee Candace. Thank you, Zari Fee Candace, for the jamming gift.
I kept listening, and he said, I'll drop this passenger off first, then we'll dump the body. There was a dead body in the trunk of
Shout
this
out to
Uber.
Eddie.
I didn't
Or
want
nah.
him to know I could understand what he
Oh,
was saying,
nah.
so I kept my eyes on my phone and didn't move. I was trapped with a killer, and I didn't know if I'd make it out alive.
This
He
is
had the phone on
crazy,
speaker.
chat.
The voice on the other end said, how many do you have in the trunk today? The driver laughed. About 5. I gasped.
5?
There's multiple bodies in the trunk.
What?
Then the voice asked, is anyone else
Shout
in
out
the
to
car?
your Your TV.
Driver
They
looked at
were
me through the
sub.
mirror. Just another stupid drunk American girl. Do you think I should kill her too? I felt my stomach turn. The voice said, up to you. The
Oh,
driver
nah.
smirked. I do have my gun in the front seat.
You were the gold
It wouldn't
coin
hurt to kill her too. I had to do
syndicable.
something to get help. I opened my texts, found my boyfriend's name. I was still drunk, so I could barely type. He's gonna kill me. I'm an Uber. Please help. I
Regarding it.
screenshotted the Uber
Again.
trip details. I clicked send. No response. It was past midnight, and he was probably asleep. I thought I was going to die and couldn't stop
Shout out to
shaking.
Fishy
The driver
Boys.
noticed me shaking and looked at me through the rearview mirror. He
Shout out to
turned
the
around.
base
"You okay
badger.
back there? No, I think I'm gonna throw up. He rolled his eyes and pulled over at an empty
Oh,
gas
nah.
station. I reached to open the door, but it wouldn't open. It was locked. When I looked up at him, he was turned around in his seat with the gun pointed right at my face. I was going to die. I flinched, waiting for him to pull the trigger. And suddenly, red and blue lights flooded
Oh,
through
nah.
the windows.
What?
A cop was standing right behind his window with
W.
a gun pointed at his head.
Thank you for the $2.
Bro, you forgot about me spouting whale
Oh, I
spouting
forgot.
whale spouting
Oh,
whale spouting
oh.
whale spouting whale spouting whale spouting
So we're
whale
doing that
spouting
now.
whale spouting 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 whale
Okay, I'm
spouting
sorry,
whale-
guys. There we go. There we go.
Drop the weapon. Hands up. Now. They ripped him out of the car and cuffed him. I had no idea where the police came from, and that's when I got a text from my boyfriend. I
Shout out
sent
to
the Uber
Jacer.
details
They were
to the
6'7"
cops.
Victor.
Are they there yet? He understood my drunk text. Then a cop tapped my shoulder. This
I
man
will
has
add you, okay, Boba-chan or Encrypted. I will.
been
I
on our
will.
wanted
Just give
list
me
for
time.
months. You just helped us catch a
Join
serial
my
killer.
Discord
Having a
server
hot
if you
Russian
want it to be
boyfriend saved my
guaranteed.
life. I was drunk in an
They were the $2 Syndicable. W Syndicable with the $2. Thank you, Syndicable. Thank you. W Syndicable. They were the 2, bro. W.
I walked into the
What YouTuber is this? This is her story.
bathroom, and my son was lying motionless on the floor. Surrounding him were my empty insulin shots. He had taken
Oh,
all
nah.
of them. I was so shocked I couldn't even breathe. I picked him up in my arms and ran out of the house barefoot towards the hospital across the street. I was extremely scared. Why? Why did you do this to yourself? He whispered. The nurse said that big boys give themselves their own shots. The more you take alone,
Shout
the
out to
stronger you will
Danny.
be when you grow up. I just wanted to be strong, Mommy. When we got to the
You were the
ER,
hiding
I
if
cried
lucky.
out, somebody help. I was scared my son was about to die in my arms. Nurses and doctors rushed towards us. Ma'am.
Thank
what
you for the $2.
I already joined Discord server.
Oh, you did? They were the Happy Poop Banner. So just wait when I end the stream. I'll add you.
happened? I yanked at my
Thank
hair
you, though,
in
bro.
frustration. Insulin overdose. Please help us.
W.
The nurse raced
Encrypted with the 2, bro.
into the
Thank
room
you.
to tell the doctors what was going
Shout
on.
out to
and
Joey.
I started pacing the floor while my body pumped with adrenaline. Tears raced down my face, and that's when I saw the nurse that had told him earlier.
Shout
that the
out
more
to Verity Mob and Sweetest Jilly. Thank you both for the
shots
sub.
he took,
W.
the stronger he would be. I marched over to her and slapped her across the
Oh
face.
my gosh,
You
yeah.
were the reason my son was fighting for his life. The nurse raised a shaky hand to her red cheek.
Give her the
I
hiding
just
gifts.
wanted him to be a strong boy. I was red with anger. He was found overdosed and told me he just wanted to grow up big and strong.
Thank you for the $1, Rainer. W Rainerin with the $1. Thank you, Rainerin. Thank you for the hiding gifts. Thank you for the Happy Poop
All
Banner.
thanks to you. I poked the nurse in the
Shout out to
chest, but that's when my
Queen.
heart stopped. Over the intercoms came out the words, Code Blue in ER. I didn't know what was going on.
They were the
so when I
6'7",
turned
your
around-
local bell. And thank you for the $10, Syndicable. Shout out to Skull Hat with a sub. Thank you, Syndicable, for the $10 donation. W Syndicable. Thank you, bro.
I saw
For the 10. W Syndicable.
doctor pumping
So
my
thank you
son's
so
tiny
much, bro.
chest. The nurse went white. Is that because of me? But I wasn't listening
the
to her
hiding
anymore.
gifts.
I grabbed my son's hand. Please, baby.
Thank you
come
for the
back to me. But he
$10.
didn't respond. Instead, the monitor went flat. My son never got to grow up strong because that day he died on the hospital bed. I walked
RIP. W Syndicable, bro. With the 10, though, bro. Thank you, Syndicable. And thank you the guys for the hiding gifts and W's. W Syndicable. Okay. I do have to end stream chat. I'm sorry that I didn't warn you, but I gotta end it now because it's been long. But I'm gonna give shout outs for now to people who subscribe. So if you haven't yet subscribed, subscribe right now if you want a shout out. 3467 E Step Media, because I'm about to end stream. So this is your last chance to get a shout out on this stream. If I don't shout out you though, for whatever reason, then I'll give you a shout out on the next stream, guys. So yeah, I'm gonna shout out people. Thank you for the Uncler. W Kid and Love Panda with the Uncler. Thank you, Kid and Love Panda. W Kid and Love Panda. Thank you. All right, shout out to Lewis MJ. Shout out to
Don't forget to give me
Jessica.
mod.
Give her the chili. I won't KVR. Thank you for the 2, bro. I almost said them. I got you. Shout out to Baby Lou. Shout out to Shrimp. Shout out to Asher. Shout out to Eric Rival. Shout out to Jed. Shout out to Leo. Shout out to Hero. Shout out to Taylor. Shout out to Ayano. Shout out to B-Dog. Shout out to Island VR. Shout out to Marshmallow 8K. Shout out to Toka. Shout out to Taylorland. Shout out to Sam the Kid Gamer. Shout out to Juan. Shout out to Sam Gaming. What's up, Sam Gaming Jr.? How's it going, bro? Thank you for the $2 Syndicable. And thank you for the $2 Encrypted. W, both of them. Thank you. Shout out to Emoji Cat. Shout out to Bonkai Edits. Thank you for the Uncler Kid and Love Panda. W, Kid and Love Panda with the Uncler too. Thank you. Shout out to Kira. Shout out to Bella's World. And shout out to Hiriko. Thank you all.
You gotta add me now, bro. Spouting whale, spouting whale, spouting whale, spouting
Stop
whale,
the
spouting
spout.
whale,
Oh.
spouting whale, spouting whale,
Shout out to
spouting
Yet the
whale,
Nut.
spouting
Shout out
whale,
to Sam
spouting whale,
Smash
spouting
Gaming.
whale, spouting whale, spouting whale, spouting whale, spouting whale, spouting whale.
There we go. Okay. Shout out to XX Captain 67. Shout out to Toka. Shout out to Mia. Shout out to Wild Fox. All right. If you guys did not get a shout out, I will give you guys a shout out on tomorrow's live stream. All you have to do is subscribe. That's all you have to do if you didn't get a shout out. And I'll give you a shout out on tomorrow's live stream. I promise you, if you didn't get a shout out today. Shout out to Catherine. Shout out to Lucky FFS. But I'm going to go now, chat. Thank you all for joining the stream. I will be live tomorrow, so make sure you join on the next stream, guys. I will be live tomorrow around the same time when I went live today. Maybe a bit earlier, I'm not sure, but I will be live tomorrow at around the same time I went live today. So make sure you guys join tomorrow's live stream and also join my Discord server. All right, look, guys, look. If you go to my channel right now, so I'm on my channel, right? There's a Discord server link right here. If you guys can see, it's like a blue one. So right here. All you have to do is click it if you have Discord, and you can go to my Discord server. So if you guys want to join my Discord server to chat with me and chat with my fans, you know, then make sure you join it. But other than that, I'm going to go now. I will be live tomorrow, so join tomorrow's live stream. Shout out to Robert. Gotcha, bro. You were the gold coin. So, you were 67 Kid and Love Panda. I hope you guys have a good rest of your day or night. And make sure you join tomorrow's stream. Alright, guys? Thank you all for joining, guys. Alright, bye, everybody. Make sure you join my Discord server, too. And join tomorrow's live stream. I'll be live tomorrow around the same time. Alright, peace, guys. Peace.